Hey guys, I'm back. Looks like those low lives sniped the chat again. I'm gonna put the link in the back chat to each individual to keep this from happening again. I apologize to you guys. That guy actually was in the chat. I saw him earlier and he asked if he could join the chat. I ignored him, removed him, but forgot to block him. So I apologize for that. You know, they have nothing better to do except be an idiot. You know, they don't have anything to add to our discussion or what we're doing. They just want to be disruptive and be total idiots. I mean, if you don't like flat earthers, if you don't like what we have to say, you don't have to listen. You don't have to come. I mean, you could just ignore us, but obviously you are the type of people that I be talking about all the time, that if I had been in charge, you would not exist at all. You would cease to exist because you are exactly what we're fighting. We don't need your type of input into society whatsoever. There's no value having you around whatsoever. To me, you're just a complete waste of space. You guys bear with me. I'm posting the link to some of my contacts that I have. So it's going to take me a few minutes to be able to do that so that I can ensure that the idiots do not get the link again. One second, guys. Let's see. I am pasting the link in the back chat to you guys personally, to each individual. So if you will click on that link, you'll be able to come back in.
Yo, how did this happen, Sassy?
I had put the link out earlier in the chat, and I put it in one of our open chats in the back for those that join. I mean, it was like one of our conversations, our past conversations, so he might have been able to get it from that, or from when I had posted it in the chat. I deleted it, but then again, you know, I think the search, probably you can search back for some time, so there's no telling. But anyhow, I'm getting it taken care of, no biggie. One monkey ain't gonna stop the show, I tell you that much.
Like, I wish I can have a virtual choke. Like, seriously, that kind of pissed me off because
I know, me too.
we were starting to get into it, and next thing you know, bam. So that tells you that somebody's monitoring every one of our YouTube channels.
Yeah, because I'm definitely not a big channel. I have less than 500 followers, but somehow they just magically come over here. I don't even have a lot of people watching my stream. So, I mean, it's pointless for them to even bother with doing that, because I don't have a whole, you know, following of viewers like a lot of the bigger channels where it would be really, you know, a big problem. But, you know, they're just such low lives. I mean, if you don't like what we're saying or what we're doing, then just don't come. I mean, what's the point of doing that other than a few minutes of us talking about how much of an idiot they are? I mean, really. I'm just getting the link to Tevin now, so. All right, everybody has the link again. So check your personal chat for the link, guys, so you can rejoin the panel. Thanks. I mean, it's one thing if they come and I know I had that guy blocked, so I don't even know how he was able to even do that in the chat. I'm not even going to waste my time looking, you know, for it. I'm just going to make sure that I have him. I don't think I have him blocked on the Google Hangouts thing, but I know I have him blocked through my OBS on YouTube through those past streams. So I'll just make sure for the next one that I go through and block all of those ahead of time. So
do we have an idea who it is?
They just make multiple accounts. This guy, Pete Sutherland, they'll come on as other people, you know, P Mars or whatever. It's the same individual each time, and they just keep making other accounts so that they can keep doing the same thing basically over and over again. So you just gotta not give them the opportunity, like I did by posting the link. To let people join. I mean, it's an easy way to do it, but then it sets you up for failure because then they click on the link and snipe the chat because they've got nothing better to do with their lives. So we were talking about going and, you know, how much work it would be to actually start our own community without government reach and overlook, and teaching the people how to fend for themselves, you know, is going to be crucial to us actually offering something new for the community. And that's one of the things that's so great about Ubuntu is because it's self-governing and it encourages all of those things. You live naturally off the land and things like that, and we can incorporate what we already have and what we already know into Ubuntu contributionism so that it doesn't seem you know, ancient and old, or like we're living like Amish people. I think people have the wrong you know, they have a misconception about Ubuntu contributionism in today's world. You know, it's not like any societal construct that we currently have, but it incorporates the old with the new so that we're not losing anything, any grounds that we already gained. It's just going to take people learning how to grow food, how to farm, how to raise animals and things like that, and how to work with their hands again to create living spaces. I know that I was looking on Facebook when I was introduced to Foamcrete by this group that I'm subscribed to, and it's a way to make concrete light enough that anyone can pour it into a mold and build structures to live out of. And they're so cute. I was like, I want one of those. But there's economical ways that we can go about doing this, but the government, like you said, like what Elected said, has their hand in just about everything. And so preventing them from making more laws that would infringe upon our human rights to be able to do this and live off grid and live the way that we want to is going to be crucial to any new community that we're trying to build.
Yeah, someone made a pretty good point earlier about that, and I can tell you a few things that they're doing. They're making it illegal to have a garden. But people don't understand how crazy this is, to have an authority, a power, a government. That's the problem. So you have a government that's telling you that you can't have a garden. It's crazy. They also don't allow you to have fireplaces in your house. They do that a lot in California. So therefore you have to pay for central heating or something. And see, the threat is ultimately the government, and you have to get past that first and foremost. And the reason I say it's easy is because to solve that problem requires you to do nothing. It's because you work every day and they take your tax dollars. If you just say, hey, I'm no longer working for the government, because believe it or not, most people are an employee of the government. If you decide to grow food, how much does that cost? It's free, actually, because the earth provides you water for free. It provides you fruit for free and the vegetables. You don't even have to have animals. And that's just something I'm working on. There are a lot of communities, unfortunately, not too many in the United States, but in Central America, South America, where people get together and they just form free settlements and live off the land. So, you know, that's actually the most important thing you should know in life, rather than going to college and learning about all this junk stuff that only applies in the artificial world we live in. So that's, you know, that's why it's really simple and it's complicated legally, but people have been living like this for, I don't know, the last 5,000 years. It's only recently where no one knows how to fetch their own water and food, and all the resources are controlled by the corporations. You know, it's only recently, so it's not rocket science to go back to that. People just have to re-educate themselves. But man, what the heck just happened? I thought I said something and I got removed.
No, what they do is they go in and they remove each individual and then block everybody so that you can't get back into it, and it shuts down the stream so nobody can get in there, and then you have to start a new one. So no, it's nothing you said. It's just I couldn't get him off quick enough, and he got everybody. So I mean, they have a what do you call that, script or whatever that they just run that, and that's what causes it. So it only takes them like 2 seconds to do it.
Yeah, I was still in the other stream and it just got hacked, and I was there for a few minutes, and I finally realized you had already like moved on and started another stream.
yeah. I was trying to get everybody's get everybody a key so that they could get back in without them getting it. But rest assured, I will not be doing that again. So I hate having builds interrupted by stupid people who should just go jump off a bridge somewhere. Sorry, but that's just how I feel. I mean, if they've got nothing better to do in life than to interrupt people who are working for the good of all people, no matter what they feel or believe, then, I mean, just, if you don't like what we're saying and we're doing, move along. Go find your own interests. Go find somebody else to bother to, you know, we don't have time for it. We are about this business of helping our fellow man get to a point where every individual is equal and can reach their full potential without someone telling them what they can and can't do, what food they can grow, you know, where they can go to sleep, how big their house is. No one should be over anyone. We are all gonna, you know, we're all born through a woman, and we're all gonna bleed and die the same way. Well, maybe not the same way, you know, but you know, this is the basics of human life. It's the circle of life. Like, and so it just needs to be so that you can complete that circle without being leached off of, without being made to feel like you don't belong in the world, without being made to feel like your life is less than somebody else's. I mean, it's just ridiculous how we've gotten this way in the world. And it all started with a few individuals who thought they were better than everybody else, who thought that they should have more than the next man. I mean, think about it. All the best contributions that we had to society back then didn't cost a thing. They weren't made or produced for a profit. It was only when we went through the industrial stage and leading up to that did people decide to have this convoluted ideal that we should be charging people for necessities. Like, there's so much water on the earth, literally, why the hell are we paying for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much infinite, because all the water, what does it do? It goes up and then it comes right back down. And that's the reason. I'm trying to think about what someone was saying earlier. That's the reason you have third world problems, because people can't fairly share resources. So a lot of the historical wars are all about resources. If you think of these Asian wars, you know, even World War II has something to do with resources. You've got these greedy governments or militaries that come into power, regimes, and it's all about stealing resources from another country. So, and the U.S. steals all the resources from everywhere else in the world, but doesn't use its own resources. But yeah, and see, this is how deep the matrix goes, because there's this drought in California, a supposed drought. It wasn't really a drought, but it happened 2 years ago. And I looked into this, and it turns out that all the water resources are actually owned by corporations. All the resources, even the land. That's why when you buy real estate, you have to buy it. You can't just go. Someone owns it. If it's not the government, it's a business. So when they control all the resources, no one knows where it comes from. We're only programmed in order to purchase those resources. And we're so disconnected from the basics of life that's how we're like stuck in a rat maze. And yeah, so
I definitely want to get out of it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm familiar with a few groups in Central America. I know someone that was in South America, but I guess they're in Central America now, or Mexico or something. So I try to focus on like ways to start these settlements outside of the United States, because I don't even want to be in America with the chemtrails, with all the GMOs. I think everyone's, if you're awake, I think your number one goal should be able to get away from America, because me, I could sit here and, be upset about everything that's going on. But I'm a Taurus, so I'm more of a practical guy. And I just say, man, I can't educate everyone. I can't wake everyone up, but I am going to take care of myself and have a plan for myself. And I'll try to put out some information here and there for everyone. But I just accept a lot of people aren't going to see it. They don't see what's coming. And a lot of people do get hit blindsided by a lot of this. And I just try to make sure I'm not that person.
Pam G, were you trying to get in?
I was just going to comment and say that I agree with him. That most people are trying to establish a better life, and maybe that might, be consequential to leaving the country. But then, like how he was saying, regimes outside in third world countries. I mean, if there was a structure that could be implemented, on a democratic level and a liberal level and a civil level, then every country on this plane could have the same foundations and structures and infrastructure as America does. It's just that, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and there's probably deliberate chaos implemented in these countries to keep them from establishing themselves. Because you got to think about, what's those things called? Sanctions, and that's serious. And because we're trading with each other, and for the simple fact that we're trading with each other to live because of certain resources, then it's going to sustain this type of paradigm that we're forced to endure. And unless other countries get on board as well and pull the plug and just, don't fear what, might happen from that, then you'll never know how to get yourself up there on that level. And I don't know what it's going to take, but like everybody's searching for a better life. And I mean, it's hard because we're trying to do it here, but we're up against a big resistance, a very powerful resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, the biggest military in the world. That's why, I tell people, obviously you can't go up against the U.S. military. So, I mean, it's not a war you can win physically. It does come down to the money, but they've got infinite resources to use against you. And it is what it is. They also have the support of corporations that are international.
Mm-hmm.
And governments.
And
But the
that's
word you were
thing.
looking for when you said democratic, I think what you meant was just sovereign. Sovereign, a sovereign country means it's respected, it's recognized, and yeah, because democracy is a pretty bad word. That's how the U.S. gets into other countries and destabilizes the currency and causes problems. So
yeah, and like you know, like you were saying, international. Most countries are like, hey, this is the hand that's feeding us, you know, and why would we want to bite that? Because most countries are in that position. If they pull the plug, then they're done, you know, because they're not sovereign enough. Because maybe, you know, geographically where they're located can play a big factor on what they can do, and just also what resources they have underneath the land that they live, and you know, they're just stuck. You know, you have these borders. You know, you have maritime borders, you have borders in countries and stuff like that where people are stuck in their own land. And they can't be like, well, if I did discover and I had knowledge of what resources you have in your country, I can't because it's your country. You know,
right.
and it's just like, wow, like people are just stuck in this system, man, where we can just all just use what the earth has and get along and share, you know. But nah, there's greed, there's corporation, you know, there's survival of their own without considering other people, you know. It's just like, you know, what if you weren't in that position? Most people don't think like that, and that's the reason, that's the point of no return. They're scared of, you know, not having that power once they had a taste of it and seeing what has evolved from it, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to get Flat Earth Jamaican to email me because he's trying to call the call. So yeah, and this whole thing about the governments and how big these corporations are. If we target the corporations individually to not support them, if we start lending our support to things that are free and unrestricted to the government, that might be a better way of attacking the problem than going after it through the current system that we have. So say those corporations like Mars, Unilever, and all of that, if we don't purchase from those companies and we start purchasing from mom and pop stores again, or, you know, independent sellers, is a better way to move the money away from the current system than to try to tackle it through the governments. You know, attack it on the base levels will have more of an impact immediately than trying to correct our government. It's just like Walmart. Walmart is like its own damn country, basically. It has more wealth than like 20 or 30 third world countries, I believe. And if people don't like something, Walmart will stop selling it, or you can sway them in a way to not sell or to sell certain products. But they've gotten so bad and so big that they've only started selling from particular brands or what have you, which makes them so dangerous to us because that is one of the biggest chains that is out there that you can go and get products from in one particular spot. Used to be places like Woolworths and other stores that got shut down. And now you're having to compete with this, you know, multi-conglomerate company who sells the products of these other, you know, major corporations that continue to siphon money away from people and pay them crappy wages and keep all that money for themselves. So essentially, these billionaires are made billionaires from us by taking our money, because we're the ones buying the products as consumers. I think if we change our spending habits, we'll have an immediate and better effect of that. So that's what one of the things that I'm promoting and calling for is start back buying products from your local chains, your local farmers market, people who make their own soaps and things like that. We got to start doing this in order to stop the money flow going to these people.
Yeah. Piggybacking off of what you're saying, the attack the corporation strategy is smart. It's a little tricky because the corporation and the government are one and the same, right? So if the corporation needs something, or they start facing issues or even regulation problems from the government, or that the people are calling for, they have leverage, complete leverage over the US government. So, you know, it's always going to play in their favor.
If we feed the beast, though, if we start,
right, only if we feed the beast.
Yeah, if we keep participating in their little circus, we're all just going to be entertainment for them. I mean, look at all those billionaires. I mean, Gates and all of them could solve all of the world problems that we have, except for the societal ones related to religion or, you know, different faiths. They could solve world hunger. They could solve homelessness. They could solve the healthcare issues and provide free healthcare for all. But what is stopping them from doing those things? I see a lot of philanthropists like Oprah Winfrey. She only has 3.1 billion at this point because of her stupidity of taking on a network. But people look up to her because she gave away this, that, and the third, and she made a school in another country. But what prevented her from doing that here in the US? People get on Umar for not doing, you know, a school that he says he's going to do. He got that money from the people. Yeah, I understand that. And I know that what he did was wrong. But look at what Oprah did. What makes her any different?
Can I interject, Sassy?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm on a little bit of a different belief here. And just bear with me for a second. You see, I don't believe NASA is getting $91 billion. I believe that that's the price tag they put out to make it seem as though all of that money is going towards, you know, the space station and these missions and all of this stuff that would appear to cost a lot of money. But we know all that's fake. So they're not getting that money. I think NASA is a laundering company for black op operations and for child slavery, child sex rings, drug import into America. So when I see things like NASA, I see it more as a money laundering indoctrination camp to keep people dumbed down and stupid. When I think of Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey and all of these celebrities and with all of their money, it brings me to a video I saw. I think it was with Black Child. I don't know if you're aware of who he is. But he does a lot of conspiracy stuff. I would encourage you to sub him. He is fantastic. But he did a video talking about how all of these celebrities don't have near the money you think they have. They have enough money to be able to live that lifestyle, but they don't have. Oprah Winfrey is not in ownership or possession of $3 billion. She has access to a lot of money, but they're only allowed to spend a certain amount of that money. There was a rapper that went to his bank and attempted to withdraw $100,000. And within 15 minutes, I guess the handlers, the people that were in charge of him, his handlers, got notification. The police came and arrested him in the parking lot for withdrawing his own money.
What?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I've seen that video. I've seen that
Right?
video.
Right, bro? So, yeah. So what I'm saying is that it's all an illusion. It is such an illusion. It's beyond human imagination. The deeper you go and the more you start to see the game being played here, the sicker you get in the pit of your stomach. These people have, yes, they have unlimited money in that they're able to look and live lives that seem as though they're, you know, these superstars and movie stars and these celebrities and these rich and famous people. But the truth of the matter is that even their spending by their handlers is controlled. These people are, if you ask any of these celebrities from Oprah Winfrey to J-Lo to Robert Downey Jr., you ask any of these people privately, are they having a good life? And they're going to cry the blues to you. These people are living lives that are so horrific and so puppeteered and so demonic and so horrific that they can't even speak of it. And the truth of the matter is that that's a whole new ball game that's being played behind this veil that we're beginning to open up and see. And so there are two worlds here. This is the duality. The one world is that, yes, your friend was saying, I think it's the young man there, he was saying that, you know, they have this system, and this system is more than just a system. It is a protected system. And it's so protected in that right now with the Pizzagate thing going on, with everybody coming out with all of these, the Podesta emails and all of this information about the elites, the higher ups, and even movie stars and politicians are involved with sex slavery and child sacrifices. And this gets crazy. But every time somebody goes to bring information to the authorities, guess what happens? They get blocked. Why? Because the people put in positions in the authorities are a part of it. So it's a protected system in that it is so powerful that if you wanted to go and, for instance, lay a charge against Bill Gates or Bill Clinton or Barack Obama, you're going to get caught because you're going to end up having to deal with an already protected system where the members or the higher-ups or the authorities in the policing system are as well Freemasons, 33-degree Freemasons. That's why they're put there, and they're involved, and you can't penetrate it. The system is so protected, it's unimaginable. So this is the biggest wall I think that we have. In my opinion, the best thing we can do is that you create your own system. I've done that over here in the Dominican. I'm not going to go into detail, but I have completely left the American system, and I am living a reasonably free lifestyle here in the DR. So it is possible, but you have to have the courage and you have to have faith that everything is going to be okay. And from that point, you can move forward and create your own life.
I concur. It's all about courage, and you know, a lot of people these days just lack the ball. You know, the people we had when the country was founded, you know, took up their own guns and went straight to the government. Not that we can do that now to any kind of success, but you know, it was a real patriotic kind of thing. And nowadays, people think they're patriotic because they go in the streets and they're protesting. No. That's not even close. So.
Yeah, so ask yourself this question with this list here, the world's billionaires. Ask yourself why the Queen of England isn't on there, why the Queen of the Netherlands, Queen Beatrice. Ask yourself why the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds aren't on there. Those are the ones, the Rockefeller family is worth trillions. $500 trillion, apparently.
500 trillion?
That's right. So that's right. That's what the Rockefeller family estate is apparently, because they own all the world banks. So they own all the money. They're the ones.
Oh, okay. So that's the net worth of all the money that's in circulation.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Because that's a lot of goddamn money. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if he's still there, but they probably, because that list of billionaires are probably the puppets instead of the actual real wealth holders. Because those are corporation icons, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to see a list of them, but I don't think so that they have a local list. They probably don't want that out, but let me see.
I think the Rothschilds are the wealthiest, and Rockefeller probably comes next. But man, 500 trillion. I know the Rothschilds is hundreds of trillions. And the funny thing is, if you Google it and you come across the wrong website, they always try to play down their wealth because they don't want you to know just how deep the conspiracy goes. But if you look at the actual facts and history, these families are so wealthy. And we're talking about families, not even businesses, just a family.
Who probably own businesses and run businesses, and so it ain't like they're losing.
Right. So the next question is, all right, the corporations are controlling the government, but who's controlling the corporations? These families. But who's controlling the families? See, it gets deeper.
Yes, that's what we need to know.
Well, as I'm a Christian, Sassy, right?
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay. So I have, but I'm not your average Christian. I'm actually opening up a church over here in the Dominican. It'll be the first Truth Earth Church, Flat Earth Church. I'm going to be talking about what's really going on in the world and applying it to what Scripture I believe lines up with it. But that's another story. What do I think is happening? I think that people have sold their souls. I think that people at very, very high levels, I think it's generational Satanism. I think that these families have been involved with the buying of the kingdoms by the purchasing and the selling of their own souls. I think these families have locked down these kingdoms. And I think that the crumbs go out to the minions, like the celebrities and the scientists and the big businessmen and the people that are willing to participate in the pushing of the agenda that they set forth. And they get the crumbs. They get the celebrity status. They get, the financial gain. They get the lifestyle. They get the platforms. But there's a price that comes with that too. Like I said, these people that are the influencers and conditioners on these platforms, the Beyoncés, the Jay-Z's, the Eminems, the Madonnas, the Lady Gagas, these people are paying a price. We look at them on TV and think, oh, wow, look at that. They're so great and they're the best and they're so amazing. But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Chris Brown was crying and praying into the camera for it to end. Lady Gaga was going to Bar Chakra or whatever his name is, looking for him to exorcise demons out of her. She was having demons in her life beyond her control. And so, I mean, this stuff is real, what's going on in the world. This world is not what we think it is. I am telling you, it is insane. And these people, I don't care if you believe Satan exists. It doesn't matter to me. It matters not if you think Satan exists, because the people running this world, the ones with all the money, the ones with all the power, they do think he exists. They worship him, and they're the ones with the power and the money and the platforms to indoctrinate and to condition humanity. So let that sink in.
It's following this money ain't easy. I'm telling you, it's just damned if you do, damned if you don't. What to concentrate on first is what's most important.
Well, I think the money goes to the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. They're the banking cartels. They're the ones that own the banks. A lot of people have done research, and the money goes back, or at least the central bank goes back to Israel. Is that true? That's where people have been led on their research. I've done some research on, the financial institutions, and I know this much. If Sassy, myself, Trevor, and whoever the other person is in the hangout, if we decided tomorrow to convince the entire world to go and take all of their money out of the bank. Now, I don't know how much money you have in a bank, and you don't know how much I have in a bank. But if the entire world tomorrow went to their bank and took out all of their money, they wouldn't have it to give. In Canada, there is $50 billion in circulation in all of Canada, $50 billion in paper money. It's digital. All of that money is digital. They don't have the financial paper to pay out everybody if we went to withdraw our cash. It's all digital. It's not even real. It used to be backed by gold. Now what is it backed by? It's a debt.
Right.
We're paying back a debt that in 1938, when the recession happened, all of the world banks, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, offered loans out to countries based on a collateral. That collateral was us, the people. So when the countries went to the Rothschilds, to the world banks, and said, "Look, we need a loan to get up out of this recession," kind of like when Obama bailed out all of those big businesses, the countries needed a bailout in 1938, and so they were like, "Okay, well, we need a loan," and the Rockefeller banking cartel said, "Well, we need collateral," and they were like, "Well, we don't really have any collateral." And they were, "Well, actually, you do. The collateral is your people.
Right. We're
going to get them to pay taxes." And they'll pay back the debt. So you became the collateral. That's why if you look at your birth certificate, all of your government identification is in capital letters because you're an incorporation. You became an incorporation that day. You're actually being traded on the stock market. You personally, your name is written in capital letters. You don't write your name in capital letters. That's right. An incorporation. You are an incorporation that is being traded on the stock market. If you take your bond number on the back of your birth certificate and Google it, you're going to find out who owns you. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a Chinese corporation.
Yep.
Because they have bought up most of the people in America.
I mean, they own
a corporation.
Yeah, they own all those bonds and anything that could be backed by gold or other luxury items like stone and whatever.
And you're a commodity. You are a taxpayer.
Well, that goes back into the whole straw man.
That's right. That's right. Amen. You got it. And that's also why they came up with the feminist movement. And it was the Rockefellers that backed the feminist movement.
And we saw that again, too, recently after Trump got elected. That that was the major thing, even though we had more pressing things like police brutality and a fractured election, a fraudulent election taking place. You saw that reemerge.
Well, think of this. When they did the feminist movement, they were sitting back probably at a Bilderberg meeting and we're like, all right, how can we get more money out of these useless eaters? Because that's what they call us. And black, white, purple, green, yellow, polka dot, or orange, we're all useless eaters to them. It doesn't matter. There is no race with them when they think about us. We're simply useless eaters. So they were sitting down thinking, okay, how can we get more money out of these useless eaters? And they realized that there were a lot of women sitting at home being mothers while the father was out making the money. Now, back in those days, a father on a 40-hour-a-week job could pay all the bills, could put money away for retirement, and they could afford 2 vacations a year on one income. That's what it was like. Now, so they come up with this women's movement. They finance it and get this feminist movement going to get the women out of the house, out of the family, and into the workforce. So now they just raised 50% profit on taxes because now they got all the women working as well. But on top of that, they were able to break up the family home. And the third thing, the biggest one, was they started daycares because the women needed to put their kids in earlier school programs. So now they got the child's mind at a much earlier age in order to begin the indoctrination process. It's crazy. It is deep. And the people that are running this world are very, very evil. They are very serious. They are very evil. They've locked down this system. And the only thing you can do is wake up to the system and try to do that for others. You got to wake people up. You got to tell them, look, you're a slave into a system. You don't even know you're a slave. The best slave is a slave that doesn't know he's a slave.
And they don't. They think that we have some level of freedom that we obviously are not aware has been taken away and continues to be eaten away in and day out. I mean, think of all the laws and the things that they're making, and then they turn around and say, well, you have to be aware of the law. I don't care that you didn't know the law, blah, blah, blah. They're making laws faster that take away our rights than they are of laws that we're trying to support to better life for everybody. And so we don't even know of some of the laws that they have that prevent us from being able to the system as it is. I mean, everything now is seen as a crime. You know, they have that law about what is it, the national terrorist list or something like that. So you can be held for 48 hours or however long as suspected as being a terrorist without no, phone call, no rights, no anything.
And guess who's number one on that list, Sassy? Christians, fundamentalist Christians are number one on the list. And flat earthers are coming up on that list very, very quickly.
And that's just scary if you think about it, because this truth is the greatest truth that there is out there, because it is so unifying on so many different levels, and they're going to try to curtail that to prevent us from being able to speak about it. And it's just insane the level of hypocrisy that our government goes through, and we haven't revolted from it yet. I mean, what is it going to take for people to wake up? I mean, not even if they don't even know about the flat truth, just look at everything historically that has been done against humanity, all these crimes. And you're telling me these people are so asleep and
it's like Christopher Columbus. I want to pull my hair out when people boast about Christopher Columbus discovering that the world was flat. I'm like, wait a second. First and foremost, the guy was an elitist with the Queen of Spain, an elitist, and he was a slave trader. But let's just leave that over to the left a little bit, and let's talk about what he said. He said that he discovered the Americas, but when he got there, there were people there. So how did he discover something when there were people already there? That's like me going to Walmart and meeting the greeter at the door and then coming back and telling you guys I discovered Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
No, there were already people at Walmart. I didn't discover Walmart. I ended up coming across some land where people were already inhabited.
Mm-hmm.
That's not discovering anything. And so from that lie, he says that the world's definitely a spinning wet ball rocket because he didn't fall off the edge. Like he ever went to an edge. You know what I mean? Like, and people are like, yeah, why didn't he fall off the edge? It must be a ball. This is before they even had their fake rockets going into space to show us what the shape of this Earth was from their NASA live footage. But watch this. The first globe, when they made that school globe that sits on the desk and spins all ridiculously, that was made in 1948. The very first globe was constructed in 1948. They took a flat map and put it over top of a ball and called that Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't send a rocket to space until 1969. So how were they able to give a description and put a globe together for the school if they'd never seen it until 1969? I mean, the devil's in the details.
And Columbus, he wiped out a whole tribe of indigenous people. He was anything short of a murderer. I mean, and they give him so many props.
In the Dominican, they slaughtered the people. There isn't one native Dominican here, not one. Can you imagine? At least there's some Native Americans. At least there's some Native Canadians. In the Dominican Republic, they killed literally, they killed the very last Native Dominican. There isn't a Native Dominican here. They're all from elsewhere.
That's sad, man.
And that's Columbus.
Yeah, that's just one of them. And it says that he discovered all this land. Well, when he got his behind there, you didn't discover anything if you're writing that people were there. Right. So all you did was go on vacation essentially and take people's land that didn't belong to you and claim it for some witch.
Yeah, I'm going to come to your house, Sassy, and claim that I discovered your house and now I own it.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
And this is the indoctrination, though. Mm-hmm. This is how deep the indoctrination goes. You ask people, why do you believe we're on a spinning wet ball rocket? And they go, well, I've seen pictures. Okay. Have you researched whether the pictures were real? Well, of course they're real. They came from NASA. Have you researched NASA to see if they're liars? Because NASA in Hebrew means to deceive.
Right.
So did you research NASA? Well, no, they're an authority. They're scientists. Why would they lie? Well, they're being funded by the government. Does the government lie? Well, yeah. Okay, so if the government's funding NASA, do you think that they would fund an organization for the purpose of having it lie? Is that a possibility? Well, maybe. Oh, well, that's why you do research. And this is why when I sit down with people, I say, okay, look, I'm a flat earther. And they go, what? I go, well, I'm a flat earther. But you're not going to be able to talk to me about flat earth unless you come to the table with some research. So have you done any research? And they go, no. I go, well, then there's really not going to be much of a discussion there because I already know everything you're going to say. I know more about your ball earth than you could ever know about my flat earth. I know everything about your ball earth. I know how fast it's going. I know how it's wobbling at 66.6 on its axis. I know that it's rocketing through space at close to 1 million miles an hour. I know that gravity claims to be able to hold down trillions of tons of water in an ocean, but apparently a baby can take its first step no problem, and a butterfly can fly from Cuba to Nova Scotia. So I already know all about your ball rocket. So what are you going to bring to the table to help me discover why I should come back to it? And they have no answer.
None whatsoever.
Because there is no answer. Flat Earth doesn't exist if the ball is true.
Yep.
It can exist.
Yet we have all this flat area that they try to ignore. That's why I don't even try to get into it with Globers that, want to stick with the same storyline and haven't done their own research, because you were trained to say what they expected, and all you're showing is that you're completely indoctrinated with what they taught you, and so you don't even have a mind to think of for yourself to go and do your own research, and then you would come to the same conclusion as everyone else, but they still see all of the lies. They still see all the experiments that have been done in the past and other people's research, and choose to be ignorant, choose to be willfully ignorant and ignore the facts. I mean, it's just ludicrous that people even do that.
Well, yeah, you know why I don't get into conversations about Bolivian Mud Wrestling Association?
Bolivia Mud
Yeah, I don't get into conversations about the Bolivian Mud Wrestling Association.
I didn't even know if there was such a thing in life.
Yeah. You know why I don't get involved in those conversations? Because I don't know anything about it. So right. So I don't talk to people that don't know anything about flat Earth. If you haven't done the research, I'm talking to somebody that doesn't know anything about it. And that makes absolutely no sense to me. There's nothing I hate worse than getting into a conversation. I used to be a boxer, so I used to get into conversations about boxing with people. They would argue with me about boxing, and I go, "Well, were you ever a boxer?" They're like, "No." I said, "Well, have you ever studied the boxing industry, the fight game? Have you ever studied it?" And they're like, "No." And I go, "Well, then who am I arguing with?" I'm arguing with a blank piece of paper, and I got zero interest in arguing with a blank piece of paper. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
That's what we end up getting, hon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tevin. I guess Tevin. I feel like he wants to speak. I'm going to mute for a minute unless he doesn't.
Oh, no, not really. I have one thought I was going to add in regards to the freedom thing, and the thing about freedom is they've convinced us that slavery is freedom. And the party that's been best at doing that is the Democratic Party. So what they do is they create issues. And from those issues, they're looking to provide more opportunity, provide more freedom. But at the same time, each new law they pass, each piece of new legislation creates more restrictions and more laws. And global warming is precisely one of those, where they say we're trying to save the planet, but what they're doing is they're coming up with an excuse to restrict resources, to say you can't turn on your sprinkler this time during the day.
to say that, you've got to pay taxes if you are doing this type of activity. And that's how deep the matrix goes. It goes really, really, really deep. That's about all I had to add.
Oh, no, you're 100% right, brother. It goes deep, 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 deep. Matter of fact, I say this with all due respect. I've been in this truth research thing now for about 10, 11, 12, about 12 years. I started off with HARP way back in the day. The HARP is the weather modification system that they have where they can control weather. And then that took me to, other things. And of course, 9/11 happened. And it's really, really a very, very crazy thing when you get into this truth. It's scary, but I'll tell you what, this truth is given to only a handful of people. Think about that. 20 years ago, there might have been 15, 20, 30 people that knew something was going on. That turned into, a few thousand. That turned into a couple 100,000. I am telling you right now, you add up all of the truthers on this flat plane, and that comes up to, a couple of million people know at least something, whether it's chemtrails, whether it's flat earth, whether it's 9/11 was an inside job. Collectively, the truth movement is much bigger than we think it is. And so, kudos to that. Kudos to those that are willing to have an open mind and question the authority, because that's what it comes down to. You got to drop your ego and say, okay, look, I'm not the sharpest guy in the world. I mean, I like to think I am at times, but I can be had. I've had a few women in my life that outsmarted me. You know what I mean? I've had some business deals go south. They outsmarted me. I'm okay with being wrong. And you have to get to that place where you're able to drop your ego and say, okay, maybe I've been outsmarted. Maybe I've been fooled. Maybe I've been tricked. And the best way to get around that is to recognize that you're not alone. We've all been tricked. We've all been bamboozled. Just because you and I got to the truth a little quicker than somebody else, it doesn't make us smarter than them. It just means that we were probably more willing to drop our egos. And that's what it comes down to, is that people need to drop their egos and go, okay, let me look at this in an unselfish manner, because I might be wrong. And you want to call yourself a skeptic? You better know you're wrong.
Right. And
right?
That's the thing, the egos, like you said, letting go of your ego to let truth come in so that you can be awake and aware and learning something new and be able to share what you've learned and what you know with other people. That is one of the biggest things, hindrance to people, is their ego or fear of being wrong.
Yeah. And let's face it, flat earth is the pepper spray of truth. That is, I tell people all the time, look, honest to God, if you're getting robbed on a street corner and somebody got a gun to your head, just mention flat earth. They will run. That is an anti-robbery device right there. Just start talking flat earth. People exit quick, and you could clear a room with flat earth.
Oh yeah, that is true. You could clear a chat with that. I mean, you can get banned on impact in the flat earth.
I think they're starting to make that illegal to say flat earth on a plane. Hey, everybody, the earth is flat. You'll get kicked off the flight.
Yeah, that's right. That's hilarious. I was flying from the Dominican to Toronto, Canada a couple of months ago. And I got on the plane and, I looked at the guy to the left of me and I was thinking, he looks like an interesting guy. So I waited for the plane to take off and I looked at him. I said, could you do me a favor? I'm doing a little bit of research. Could you look out the window and tell me when you see a curve? He said, what? He said, what? I said, just let me know when you see a curve. And so he goes, yeah, okay. So he's looking and he's looking and he looks back at me. He goes, what do you mean by a curve? I said, well, the curvature rate is 8 inches squared. So that means that according to that horizon, that's a couple of 100 miles of horizon, we should see a bend or a bow on that horizon based on the curvature rate. So can you see a curve? He looks back out. He goes, no. I go, so do you think we're on a ball or are we on a flat earth? And that started a 4-hour conversation he wished he never had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he tried everything in his power to sound smart. And everybody behind him, in front of him, and around him were shaking their heads. I don't think they were in agreement with me, but they seen him struggling like a drowning baby. He couldn't get to the edge quick enough.
I know.
What airline was it?
Hey, can I add on to something?
Air Canada.
Okay, they may have blacklisted you now. No more flat Earth on a plane.
Yeah.
Hey, the other day I was watching a playback from Red's rhetoric and Jeranism, the flat Earth versus globe Earth debate or whatever, and Red's they was kind of giving each other some work in, right? So Reds has showed Jaren a rocket launch or something, and Jaren was asking about the lights or whatever, and then he was like, Red's rhetoric was like, now remind you that I shot this from 11 miles away. So I'm thinking, okay, 11 miles away, and this is nighttime, right? So I'm thinking 11 miles away, you can see these lights, these spotlights around the launch pad, and 11 miles away times 8 inches per mile squared. Why were we even able to see the spotlight? Shouldn't have been hidden behind curvature.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, we both know the earth is flat, so
And Red's rhetoric, his first name was Redline. And back 6 years ago, when he first came up on YouTube as an atheist, he was going after Christians. I was actually his very first attack. He did a response video to me trying to act like some kind of a smart aleck. And he was living with his parents, who are Christians, by the way. And he was eating off their dinner table and attacking Christians in his bedroom. So him and I go back many, many, many years. He swears like he just was allowed to swear yesterday. You know what I mean? Like when he swears, it sounds like he just found out he could swear yesterday. The guy swears every third word, and he thinks yelling and screaming and using profanity makes him right. And in a sense, the way today's world is, it sounds cool to those that want to be right. So his vocabulary and the way that he approaches his argument with the loudness and the screaming and the yelling and the shouting and the calling you stupid and you idiot, you moron, and you're an idiot. Math, gravity, math.
He does that for attention, and not attention, but for intimidation.
That's right.
It says it in his name. It's rhetoric. It's not anything other than that. It's just an immature person who doesn't have any answers, pretending to have all the answers. But
I know Bro Sanchez gave him that work about a month ago when he was claiming he had to rush to the airport or something. Bro Sanchez had cut his live feed with us or whatever. He kind of put it on pause to have a quick debate with Red's rhetoric.
All right, bro, let me get this shit out the back seat.
All right, then, bro. And then it was funny because Bro Sanchez went in. He went in and threw him off his whole game. See, the whole time, Reds tried to try to poke holes in his argument. So Bro Sanchez kind of went in a different approach and started asking, I think, about NASA. He didn't even go straight to the Earth. He started, and it kind of threw him off his whole argument or whatever. And
yeah, I remember. Then Red's rhetoric was like, well, I can agree that NASA is full of it, and NASA makes a lot of mistakes, but he tried to put it on NASA's management, not on the actual truth, which is that their entire agenda is a deception.
Yeah. And I'm like, if NASA, if he agrees that NASA is full of it, Why the heck is he always at their rocket launches and SpaceX rocket launches filming it?
Oh, he's an asshole, bro. You see, he grew up in a Christian home, so he has a desire and a need to worship something. When he negated God and took a walk from the faith, he had to replace that desire to worship. And his new God is science, and his new God is this whole space program. That's his new God.
That is true, that people look for things that to replace a failed religion. Once you realize, you know, for those of us who've left Christianity or other faiths, truth can become a religion. Science can become a religion. You look for something to replace and fill that void. Unfortunately, other people pick up, you know, bad habits, you know, negative religion, you know, radicalism. Some people don't know what to do with it, so they self-destruct, or they destruct things or people around them. And for me, I mean, I just choose to stay above that type of stuff, because anything that's not moving forward or being positive is a waste of time, in my opinion. You have to make a decision, a conscious decision within yourself, to seek out those things that make you feel uncomfortable and become aware, so that you don't fear, or you're not fear driven. Rather, you're driven by wanting to know the truth and experience life in its fullest terms on every level. And that means coming to terms with your emotions and the facts and the truth, and, you know, answering those deep down questions that you may not want to know everything about. And, you know, but you have to make a conscious effort to want to know that and do that, and sit with that, and sitting with your emotions. Some people don't have that capability, like, you know, Reddick. You see these people all the time. You know that, you know, they weren't loved or held as a child. They couldn't have been, because they turned out this way, or they were already born without you know, the chemical makeup or the emotions to have a moral barometer, like serial killers, for instance. There's chemically something off balance with these type of people. And I think that those type of people that he belongs to are easily noticeable and easily dismissible, in my opinion, when it comes to any facts about truth, because they're in direct line of the truth, and they're walking, talking contradictions. I mean, they're double-minded in all their ways and their opinions, and they're there for entertainment, to provide entertainment. They're not actually there as a source of you know, information for people, or input, or positive input, or even just, you know, activism within itself. I think all flat earthers are mini activists, because you'd have to be, because you're constantly actively seeking and spreading the truth. And I think there's individuals that aren't going to do that, and they're agents. Some of them are agents.
Yeah, let's talk about can we talk about that for a minute, Sassy?
Yeah, sure.
Are you talking about the agents? Are you talking about people being agents?
Yeah, I see a lot of that lately. A lot of finger pointing, a lot of accusations, and I just want to know, like, you know, kind of like what your opinion of it is, because you got, I mean, what they're causing, in my opinion, is this flat Earth, or at least the people, the voices in flat Earth, the people that want to be a big voice and be a heard voice and a productive voice. They're causing them to kind of walk on eggshells and be very careful with what they say and the direction they want to see flat Earth go. And so I'm going to announce something here, and hopefully in my announcing this, you'll understand that I have a purpose in this, but the purpose isn't a shill purpose, and the purpose isn't a personal gain purpose. But okay, so I own a very large promotional company in Canada and the US. I'm not going to get into detail, but it's a big company. So I do. You see that my avatar right now? You see my avatar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the dog
so
tags.
I do hats, jackets, pens, anything you could put a company name or logo on. So as a sister company to my promotional company, I opened up a company called FlatEarthMerch.store, where I'm looking at providing Flat Earth merchandise to people that want to, promote their channels or promote Flat Earth. I'm not looking to make money on it as a profitable gain to my company. But what I'm doing is I'm going to use the profits from this company to help with personal projects that maybe, Flat Earthers might have. I want to be able to have that money pooled, that let's say that you decide, Sassy, that in your city, you want to have the very first Flat Earth float in the Christmas parade.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to have money available for the community to be able to help finance or inject funds into projects that I think are worthwhile, or for whatever those reasons are. So this is one item that I have, and it's Flat Earth dog tags, military tags. So on one tag, it will have Flat Earth with a serial number. The other tag will be left blank for you to put your company or your channel or a phrase or whatever you want to do to it. I think it's a brilliant Flat Earth idea because it bonds everybody in this Flat Earth army. It's a cool item, and you can promote Flat Earth with this item. As I stated, now me promoting with this particular item seems a little bit shilly. And I've spoken to some very big channels about this item before I even brought it into my company and said, what do you guys think of this? You think it's shilly? You think it's too much? You think it's, you think that Flat Earth is ready for something like this? And they were all like, wow, that's amazing. That's a great item. And so this is what I'm saying is that when you want to bring the Flat Earth to another level, you have to be very careful because of the shill aspect. And you have to walk on eggshells. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what do you think of this, Sassy?
Your ideal or about being careful because of being afraid? Well, what I think about it is that we're already at a point where people have been doing the name calling and carrying on, trying to label other Flat Earthers as shills or agents, and it just defeats the purpose. And I believe that in due time, those individuals who are truly agents or shills will reveal themselves because they won't produce any fruits from their works, and they will continue to show themselves to be divisive in nature and be kicked and tossed from every Flat Earth community that there is. Right. Anything that is promotion towards the Flat Earth to get people talking or researching Flat Earth, I'm all for that, and I just feel that you should keep it at a certain level until you're sure and you have all the pieces in place so that no one can disrupt it or usurp it or turn it into something that you didn't attend. We're way past the point of being careful about spreading this truth. The enemy does not care about your feelings, and neither does Flat Earth. We care about the facts, and the fact is that we need to be getting this truth out to as many people as possible. And we shouldn't be worried about agents and shills because they reveal themselves on a daily basis. Look how many we've gotten rid of over the past month and a half. I mean, just on the platforms that we visit. I don't worry about it.
I have a question. Can you find a shill for me?
Well, the true meaning of a shill is an injected agent from the controlled opposition. So Alex Jones is considered a shill.
Okay, because wondering because people keep on claiming, IPS is a shill and whatever, and I'm like, why would a shill? I mean, why would that type of shill, as far as him, spend his own money to promote the enemy? putting up billboards. I don't get it.
I'm not for discussing other flat earthers who are doing positive things in the community. That for me is, I mean, talking service level is one thing, but going in depth and discussing them, I'm just not even gonna even entertain it. I just feel that we should stay focused on our truth and how we can, and not even worry about that. If someone has shown you that they're consistently doing positive things to bring positive media and awareness to the flat earth and the flat earth community, and sharing that truth, I mean, that within itself should tell you that they're not a shill and that they're doing good things for the community.
Right.
And
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's a waste of time to even, you know, say who could be a shill and who's not and who's suspected, because essentially no one really knows. And if that's all you're about is pointing out who's a shill and who's not, you're not doing anything that's positive, and you're just wasting everybody's time, because they will reveal themselves. You know, I'm not into discussing, you know, those people. I just feel like, you know, promote what is positive to you, support who is positive to you, and the rest of those devils will fall off. So far, flat earth for me hasn't been infiltrated by a lot of these so-called agents and shills. Everybody is in touch with each other. Everybody's been to meetups. Everybody knows each other. And so there are not any signs to look for this type of thing in flat earth yet. And I think that us staying positively on the message and promoting that will keep us from having the time to even worry about such stupid things. I mean, to me,
I agree 100%.
And letting,
I agree 100%.
I'd like to say welcome to the panel, Dreads. Thanks for stopping by, bro. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm live too right now. I
saw Lord.
I saw the link. I say I'm gonna just go ahead and jump on a panel and, you know, show some love on this side. And, you know, I'm doing all right though. How y'all doing?
Good,
doing good, Big Dread, man. Thanks for asking, sir.
Yeah,
I'm still looking for that curve, man.
You ain't don't.
I'm still looking for it. Look, I'm in the Dominican. You think I see a curve? I got the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, and I can't find a curve on either side, man.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother. And I was listening to what y'all was talking about, and the thing is that we got to be very careful. We have to be very careful, because eventually they're gonna try to infiltrate if they not already have. They haven't made a big impact or enough of an impact to stop what we're doing, or try to you know, stop what we're doing. So we have to be very careful. And I think that a lot of times we get caught up to certain things that we're attached to. We'll bring it with us to the flat earth, and we allow that to overshadow the topic at hand. That's why, like I said, a lot of people misconstrue a lot of things I say. A lot of people think I'm a damn atheist, to be honest with you. I'm not a fucking atheist. Oh, excuse me. Excuse my French. I'm not an atheist. Most people think I am because of the way I speak when it comes to the Bible. There's a difference between me following something I know man wrote and me just sticking to the topic at hand. The topic is flat earth. When you bring other elements that you're attached to, they will attack those elements and make you seem uncredible. We need to say, you know what? Forget about that. We're not going to allow you to attack anything, because we're going to end up running in place, because we're going to find ourselves arguing about what I'm attached to instead of arguing the facts, the truth. So if you believe in something, fine. Nobody, you know, go for it. But we don't have the time or the luxury to be arguing about, you know, black power, you know, what we did 1,000 years ago. We're trying to find out what we're going to do today, what we're going to do tomorrow. Amen. See, those attachments, let's get where we need to be, and then we can implement those elements after we succeed. You understand what I'm saying?
A lot of people attack on the past, and so they can't even. It hinders them from seeing today that leads into the future. So I agree with you 100%.
And I think respectfully, we're starting to get that. I think collectively as a group, from the Christian flat earthers to the agnostic flat earthers to the, I don't know what I believe in flat earthers. I think we're starting to collectively realize that we're a unique family here. We're a bit dysfunctional. We're a bit dysfunctional. That's all right. We're a little bit dysfunctional. But I think that we're allowing ourselves to come together the same way that we kind of came to flat earth. And that is in a very smooth, transitional way that there might be a little bit of bumps, but that's okay because we got to get over the bumps to get to that flat land, no pun intended. And I think we're doing that. I think when you collectively look at all these channels, what a group, man. I mean, think about the group from my channel to your channel, Dread, to Sassy, to Bro Sanchez, to IPS, to Mark Sargent and Patricia Steer, to ODD TV. I mean, just collectively, what a ball, pun intended, of brilliance. I mean, if there's a ball in this, it's the brilliance that is coming from the collective of all of these different minds in this flat earth. Wow. I mean, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away.
I haven't met a family. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I was done.
Yeah, I was about to say, I agree. You're absolutely right. And but that's natural. You know what I'm saying? This is a natural occurrence that's taking place because we're speaking unity. You're gonna have difference of opinion when you unify the people. So that's a normal process. Now, what we shouldn't allow is the differences to divide us. We cannot come together and end up divided right afterwards. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I say, me personally, like I say, I really don't care, like, what a person is attached to. If they're out there getting the truth out there, that's all that matters to me.
Amen.
Because at the end of the day, when you putting that truth out there, you're not giving truth just to me. You're putting truth out there for the generations to be. You understand what I'm saying? So this is very important. I'm willing, me. That's why I push all anything I'm attached to. I don't bring it to the forefront because I know I'm gonna be attacked. I don't want to give them loopholes or give them a way to try to attack me, because what happens, it take the focus off the conversation at hand, and we've seen that time and time again, especially with globe earthers. They cannot debunk the flat earth, so they try to find ways to attack you. So if they find out you're attached to something, they will attack that, and now y'all not talking about flat earth versus globe. You're talking about personal issues now, or your personal life now. They're calling you names now. So what I think we should do, come together like we're doing now, focus on the main topics. And when you do that, they have nowhere to damn run. They have nowhere to run. They have to argue that globe. And that's where I stand on that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%, Dread. That's kind of where I'm at right now. You know where I stand, as far as my beliefs. But I really want to, when I'm dealing with flat earthers in flat earth hangouts, I really want to focus on the flat earth material, the flat earth experience, the flat earth experiments, the flat earth truth. And I agree with you at 1,000% that when we're together as a flat earth family, if we stick to, like you said, the subject at hand, if we stick to this flat earth, we're gonna make an impact. And
see, I want to throw this out there too. And what makes us unique about this family is that because we have Christian flat earthers or whatever, that gives us better ammo, because somebody might come on a panel who believes the opposite, and now we got Christian flat earthers that can crush that. Or you know what I'm saying? So we're very versatile. So, but see, the thing is, we have to be very, very intelligent on how we use that information. When they try to attack us, then you hit them with it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Then you get on the offense and you hit them with it. And you can hit them with the scriptures and all that. But there's a time and a place that we never show our full full hand or a full deck of cards. You never do that, because they might think like say somebody come in like, oh yeah, they don't never talk about Christ, or they never talk about the Bible. They must be don't know nothing about the Bible. They jump on a panel. I'm gonna shut up and let Flat Out Elect just crush it, because I know that he got that. You see what I'm saying? Let them think that they're coming on the offense, then you crush them with that information. But other than that, I think that we don't show them your whole deck of cards just yet. Stick to the topics, force them to explain this globe, because we know they can't. And and I think that we'll be able to move a lot smoother. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't that the greatest part of the truth, though, Dread? The fact that if they could prove ball Earth, there would be no flat Earth movement.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it's like two things I want to say. Well, first, shoot, man, what family is not dysfunctional? I mean, we argue sometimes, but at the end of the day, we still love each other. We still go to each other's channels and support each other. And they hate it. They were like, but dang, just yesterday they were at each other's throats. Now they all lovey-dovey and stuff. I'm like, yeah. I mean, you get mad at your mom, but 5 minutes later you're gonna be kissing all on her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your kid, people's children, they might irritate you sometimes. Our kids might irritate us at times and get on our nerves, but at the end of the day, they still gonna be the last face that we kiss before we put them to bed. You know what I mean? Amen. And two, with a lot of times, like when I was Christian, I'm not no more, but at the same time, they always used to use that as an attack. Y'all believe in a dumb book that can't be proven, right? So, but then when I would tell them, I'm like, see, you making assumptions like as if I'm a Christian or something. I'm not even a Christian or whatever, and then it just takes their whole energy out of their argument or what they're getting ready to say next. So like I say, I would say, like, for Christian flat earthers who wants to use the Bible or whatever, use it when the opportunity presents itself. But when you're just talking about flat earth, I wouldn't automatically just jump to the Bible and be like, well, it says here, it says there, because that right there is going to leave you open for an attack.
Well, let me put it to you this way, brother. I brought 2 Christians to flat earth using scripture, and I brought 2 atheists to flat earth using where's the curve. So I agree at 100% that you got to know when to pull which weapon you're going to pull. I don't take water balloons to a gunfight, and I don't take gunfights to a water balloon fight. You understand? So you got to know when to pull what you're going to pull. I'm well versed scripturally. I'm also well versed on flat earth. I'm also well versed on probably 80% of the truth community, whether it's 9/11, whether it's vaccines, chemtrails, DUMBs, deep underground military bases, whether it's HARP. It doesn't matter what the discussion is. I'm well versed on a wide variety, a plethora of information coming from the truth community. So when I speak to people, like I was saying to Miss Sassy earlier, look at man, if you sit down across from a table to me and want to talk about flat earth, you got to bring some research. I don't sit in front of blank pieces of paper and try to read stuff that ain't there. I don't talk about the Bolivian Mud Wrestling Association because I don't know nothing about it. So if you're going to sit down with me, you better be very, very good at what you're about to bring to me, because like I said, I've got over 40,000 hours and about 15 years of study in the truth community and flat earth. I've been a flat earther for 6 years. If you think there's something I haven't already heard, you're wrong. And if you're going to come to me trying to pull this ball earth business, you got to know that most ball earthers don't even know what they believe in. Most of them have no clue what the ball earth even is.
That's why it's so wonderful that we are so diverse and have so much tools at our disposal to be able to share the truth with as many people as possible. They don't expect for us to be on that level of maturity to say, you know what, I don't care if you're a Muslim or a Christian or a Buddhist, you know, or an atheist. That doesn't matter. What unifies us is greater than what divides us. And we put those things aside easily because we realize that no matter what a person believes, they're still a human being who doesn't deserve to be lied to about where they live, or to be sprayed with chemtrails, or, you know, GMOs being put in their food, or having their parents have to choose between their medications and what they eat, or having to pay for a healthcare bill that you couldn't pay for some unexpected thing like cancer or a car accident, things you can't plan for. You know, it's ludicrous when you think about the decisions and the current state that we're at, but it's so hopeful and unifying and refreshing that we can come together on something so unique and different from other you know, skeptical things like 9/11 and all of that. Flat Earth is the truth. Everybody knows it because we're standing on it.
Amen.
I agree. And one thing I hate really irritates me, that is these globe earthers that become that you so dumb, and like this one particular one, I ain't gonna mention his name, but he showed up on Dred's feed the other night. So I got on the panel. I'm like, if you so confident in the globe, just go ahead and join the panel. He joined the panel. He already body bagged himself. We didn't even have to put out no evidence. We just asked him
he slipped on a banana.
How far. Yeah, what you asked him? Dre asked him, how far was the moon? How far fast were we spinning? And I'm like, dang, we didn't even have to put out no evidence. And he was done.
Right. Their lack of evidence is my evidence. If they say, what's your evidence that we're on a flat earth? I go, your lack of evidence.
And you know, one guy even
that's
told
my
us,
evidence.
Yo, flat out, it was one guy told us that the earth spin at 6,000 miles per hour.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, I think that's why I be dizzy all the time. That's why I be getting people that are lightheaded.
He said the earth spun at 6,000 miles. I was dead. I thought I had died, man. I really thought I was just
I remember that day exactly. That was the very first time I stepped on your panel too, Dre. That was the very first time I stepped on your panel.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of your podcast, Dred. I'm always listening, and you know, you come on. You're probably the most active flat earther on the internet today. I would think. I mean, if there's an award for the most active flat earther, I think you're going to win it hands down. You put a lot of work in, and God love you for it, brother. I am so thankful that you are putting the work in, man. Because, you know, a lot of times you say things that, you know, maybe it's just me, but that, you know, I cringe a little, but that's okay. We're not going to be perfect, either one of us. I must say things that you kind of go, that guy. But the truth is that I love your channel and I listen to you all the time. I got a gift coming to you. You don't know about it, but I got a gift coming to you, and probably even your wife, I think, is going to get one too. I got somebody sending you something for me,
that's what's up.
Free of charge. Yeah, just a gift. So I just wanted you to know that. But respectfully, here's the bottom line: we got something here. Sassy said it best. This flat earth is the truth, and we are standing on it. We really, really got something here. They can manipulate and hide the evidence of 9/11. They can manipulate and hide the evidence of the Sandy hoax and the Boston bombings, but they can't hide this. We're standing on it. This truth is unique. This truth is, I mean, we are on the truth. And we're slowly but surely making our way down this flat earth, and we are figuring out some things, and they are scared. I put a video out today talking about they know we know. The video is called Flat Earth, and they know we know. They know we know. That's why they started coming out with NASA live feeds, those fake operations where they got these fake astronauts out there in space working on stuff that ain't even broken. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. With gloves that ain't supposed to be able to work in those conditions. You can't pick up a screw with those great big boxing gloves on. Trust me, I'm an ex-boxer. I know. I had to take my gloves off to pee. So the truth of the matter is, you see what I'm saying? So So I already know that that's all fake. But they started coming out with that when they started doing those live feeds was exactly the time that Flat Earth started to explode. They said,
and I body bag them every chance. Every time
you ever go to their channel
on Facebook Live and yep.
You ever go to those live NASA feeds and go, it's flat.
I do, man. I told you I body bag them every chance I get.
An auto ban bot. As soon as you type the word flat, you don't even have to finish Earth, they'll ban you. Yeah, I'll be going to them live feeds sometimes, and I troll them a little bit. I'll be honest.
Oh, me too.
And I go in there and I type live streaming right now, ISS in 4K. Come to the channel. They come wait a minute, this ain't no ISS. I'm like, it ain't, because ISS ain't real.
Right.
You know what I say? I say, I got 10 grand US right now. I will give to the first person to show me an airplane or a satellite in this live feed. Give me one airplane and one satellite, and you've got 10 grand US. And they can't do it because
there ain't. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna
go ahead, family.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get off. And thank you again for having me, Sassy. But I'm gonna say this real quick.
Always.
They always. And then they always coming out with these interstellar type movies like Transformers and Aliens and what's that one that came out back in March? The Passengers, I think. Passengers, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Come, and I think another one called Life, still in the damn. I mean, in the dang space or whatever.
Talking about that thing that was eating them people.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Way beyond. I guess they was on that planet made of diamonds or something. I don't know, but a lot of people don't read between the lines when they come out with movies like Transformers. People like NASA is spitting in our face saying that y'all are just indoctrinated robots living on a planet full of robots that really ain't gonna do nothing but what you programmed to do.
Amen.
That's the message I get every time a Transformers movie come out.
I can't even watch anything. I honest to God, I can't even watch movies, televisions. I can't watch any of it. I'm an ex-boxer, so I was like, okay, let me just get into this Mayweather-McGregor fight. Let me do some research, because I know what I'm looking for in fighters. So let me look at McGregor. Let me look at Mayweather. Let me just kind of, gauge them and see who I think is going to win this fight. And after about 15 minutes of going back and forth between the two of them, I was so sick to my stomach with the stupidity of it all, I shut it off and haven't looked back at it since. I really don't care who wins. To me, it's puppeteering, it's indoctrination, it's a ridiculous distraction from what really matters. If you want to talk to me about flat Earth or any other truth, look, I'll go and sit at a dinner table with you any day of the week to do that. But if you want to sit and talk about sports or movie stars or the Kardashians or sporting events, or I could care less about that stuff. I am so sick of that stuff. I don't even want to hear about it.
Me personally, when I watch something, I'm looking at what I can expose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I pay really close attention to it. I don't even watch it for entertainment. I'm watching it and see what kind of Masonic Freemasonry going on, and
how many 33s you can catch.
Right. So that I kind of do that. Certain statements that's being made, and I just be waiting, you know what I'm saying? And I just expose it. I probably edit it out and use it in a video or something like that, and bring it to the people and let people see that how Hollywood has hijacked humanity. Because that's what that's another tool they're using.
Well, because entertainment means this, Dread. Enter means to enter. Tain means to sustain or to detain, to hold. That's why you have, when you detain a prisoner, you're holding a prisoner. So entertain and ment is mind. So it's entertainment means to enter and hold the mind.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They enter our minds and they literally hold it hostage so that they can keep us distracted from what we're really supposed to be looking at.
Not just ours, but the youth. And that's the most detrimental, if you ask me. And if we don't keep up our flat earth offensive, we're going to be doing things in vain, because the children are our future. They're going to carry on what we're doing. What we're doing right now is making a way and paving, making it easier for them to be able to go out and take the next step, you know. And I want to leave this world in a better place for them to be able to do that, you know. And if it means we have to sacrifice each other, ourselves and our lives to do that, then so be it. Because if you look at any movement that sustained or maintained or lasted throughout the years, there was sacrifices made by the individuals of that movement, whether it was with their lives or financially or their reputations. I mean, if you're not willing to lay down your life and whatever for what you believe, then essentially you're just a fraud. You're not really into,
spineless,
really truly about what you say you're about. So at some point, I mean, I'm not talking about becoming a martyr or anything like that, just going out and like a heat-seeking missile and trying to, you know, purposely harm yourself or get yourself caught up in some hot mess. But you have to be about it. I'm from Louisiana, so you know we come from that bowdy state. Like, you better be about yours or somebody else will be about it. You know, be about your business, be about your craft, be about your art, you know. And we say who that because everybody looks at the door, who that coming through the door, you know. That's a big saying from where I'm from. I don't carry the accent because I'm a military brat, but if I go back home, you can tell that I'm a Louisiana born and bred. But we have this authenticity thing going for us, and you have to be willing to make that sacrifice, because one day it may take that. It may come to that point for us. And if you're naive to think that all these people who are still, you know, mind trapped and are agents and don't even know that they're agent Smiths, you know, they're just like those, you know, anything that they can be inhabited by an agent is essentially a part of the system and will fight you tooth and nail for what they believe in. Some of them are awake and aware and are those, what is that little guy that he loved the steak and he didn't care that it wasn't real? You know, there's those types out there that are going to fight for the system no matter what you say or do.
System people.
Yeah, there's something wrong with them.
Well, I do a lot of motivational speaking and a lot of, you know, public speaking throughout Latin America. And so when I go and speak to families and parents, here's what I say to them. This is one of the first things I say. I say, you know, if you were sitting in your living room and happen to look out the window and seen some old man whispering in your kids' ears, had their lips all up in your children's ears whispering something, how long would it take you to get up and go out inside and then find out what they were saying? How long would it take you to come up out of that house and down that driveway to find out what was being whispered into your child's ear? And they were like, wow, the second I seen it, I'd be out there wanting to know what he was saying to my child. I said, so why don't you ever take the earbuds out of your kids' ears and listen to what they're hearing? Yep. Why don't you ever go to their bedrooms and listen to what they're listening to on the internet? Why don't you ever question the authorities that have been given the indoctrination platforms to go into your children's minds and condition them to be everything that they need to be in a system that is an absolute deception? Why don't you ever question that? And the reason why is very simple. It's because within the indoctrination, there is another level of indoctrination that's injected into the human mind that we are not to question authority, because if you question authority, then automatically you become crazy. And I always attribute that to a husband and a wife. You're seem like a decent woman, Sassy. So if you were married and your husband all of a sudden changed his patterns and was coming home a little bit later at night and was going out a little bit more often and was hiding and deleting text messages and was smelling like a Chanel perfume that you don't buy, you might want to start questioning him and saying, hold on a second, something isn't right here. And then when your friends and the people start showing you information that leads you to believe that he's cheating on you, and then you go to your husband and you say, look, and I'm beginning to think that you're not being loyal and something's incorrect here. I think you're betraying me. The very first thing that he's going to do is call you crazy. You're crazy. What are you, insane? Why would I do that?
Right? Opportunity, because I'm already be plotting. See, I'm already have bought some life insurance in his name.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm gonna have
But
something picked out so sweet. I'm gonna have his suit laid out that he gonna wear in his casket and everything. So,
he's gonna look nice. He's gonna look nice in a casket.
oh,
But the
yeah.
point I'm making is that as soon as you question the truth, as soon as you catch somebody in a lie, the very first thing they do is defend their lie by trying to suggest you're crazy.
Right.
And that's exactly what they do with the truth. Right? Automatically, if you say, hey, we might be on a flat earth, you are insane. Because that has been indoctrinated into the indoctrination that if you question the truth and if you question authority, you're automatically insane. Well, the truth of the matter is this, right? If you don't question the truth, to me, that is the first step of insanity. To just naturally have a natural faith and belief in authority simply because they wear a name tag that has been indoctrinated into society that suggests that they know more than you do. I ain't having
it, man.
I agree. And you know, and that's, oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Nope, I'm done.
Okay. But yeah, like I say, ultimately, man, when it comes to this truth, it gives you, I know I'm quite sure y'all feel it too. It gives you that some type of, it's hard to explain it, but it gives you this feeling of, I want to use the term righteousness, but it's beyond even that. But it gives you that feeling, you know, you're on the right path. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people can't handle that information that we send out to them because the world that they live in, or the world that's their surroundings is so comfortable. How dare you try to get me out of my comfort zone? I don't care about this information. I don't care if the world is flat. I don't care if they're robbing or stealing. I am comfortable. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? You deal with those people with mindsets like that, and they don't see the bigger picture. They just don't get it. It's not about you it's about you being comfortable, so you will not stand up and fight. It's about you enjoying what you think that they're giving you, so you will not fight. It's about you thinking some of the things that is backwards in this world to be right, so you will not fight. What we have done, we broke all shackles, and we're going head first with this truth. And we understand the consequences, but we don't care about them because the truth and waking people up means more to us than the average. And you know, and they want. Oh, go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead.
Shoot, I lost my train of thought because stupid PMars done emailed me talking about if you weren't so rude, I wouldn't have sniped your panel. I ain't even gonna respond to him. I thought it was somebody else who needed a link. Yeah, so
I see DMarble in the house, but you know, I can send a link directly to them.
Okay.
If they need to, so you know, so no idiot would jump in.
I definitely don't want that.
I didn't know you guys.
I got sniped earlier. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Why is that? Oh man, I don't know why they're messing with you now.
It's the same people over and over again because you see this. They write the same thing and they go to 666 and carrying on. It was P. Sutherland that said they sniped the panel, but P. Mars is saying that I guess that's who it is, but he just emailed me, so I have his real name. He's an idiot. I just like to say that for the record.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that does that, but you ultimately, you know, like I said, that's one thing I love about flat earthers is that we don't go to Globe Earth Channel sniping their panels, and we are not doing the things that they're doing to us because we have the truth on our side. We don't have to shut somebody up. We don't mind. If you want to keep talking that rhetoric, go right ahead because our truth is going to trump it. Period. So we don't have to use those tactics. We're going to stick to the truth, and that's it. All you're doing is misrepresenting yourself and making a lot of the Globers look bad. You're making it you got it to the point where the whole entire Globe Earth community look like they cannot handle the truth when they should be able to handle this truth.
Yeah,
if they are awake.
And they constantly come on our channels and try to disrupt and get attention, and I try to minimize it, but he got under my skin with that one because I don't think I would have even been streaming an hour. Yeah, we were really into it.
We got deep inside the rabbit hole in the building.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Hey, you guys hear me all right?
Yes. I played some of your music earlier.
Oh, the 11:11 song.
Yes. Oh my God. I instantly fell in love with it when I heard it. And I generally open my shows with music. I was just like, this is 14 minutes. I think everybody's going to enjoy it. So I'm going to give you credit once I get to edit this live stream.
Yeah. So first I want to say, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Some of you guys are new to me, but wow, you guys are really speaking my mind. And it was, really uplifting to hear what I've heard so far. I've only been listening for about 20 minutes now. The 11:11 song is by Tyler Willis. I found it a couple years ago, contacted him, and told him I wanted to set it to images. And my friend Rhonda and myself spent 48 hours straight sourcing images and editing it and putting it up. And every time I come across it, I have to listen to the whole thing again.
Mm-hmm. It really is amazing. It takes an unexpected turn in the middle, where he goes into love, because I was right there with the after this and all that through the whole way. I'm like, yeah.
You know,
cheering it on.
What's really fun is listening to it and understanding every reference he's making, and then watching other people that aren't as awake, and they're like, oh, I got that, you know, but you know, what about this and what about that, and if you understand every reference he makes, you are a well-researched person.
Yes, I had the one thing, the Magdanolone symptoms or disease, that I immediately went to look up.
The
Magellan or something.
Magellan's.
Yes.
Magellan. Listen to me. Morgellons.
Yes, syndrome.
Yeah, that's from the chemtrails.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to find something really good in that, Sophia Smallstorm, just search her name, Sophia Smallstorm Morgellons, and she did a 2-part YouTube video on that, which will just blow your mind.
Yeah, I didn't know it was associated with that, and that I'm like, oh yeah, chemtrails. So, you know, that put 2 and 2 together for me. But I loved how he was telling his story along the way, and that just made it so personal. I mean, it made my eyes water, you know, just listening to it.
Cool. I re-uploaded it because it was on my old channel, and then I was like, oh, here it is, and I re-uploaded it today, and it's getting out there again. So anyone listening to this that likes it, feel free to mirror it, put it anywhere, use it, spread it. Okay.
That's what's up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So deep inside the rabbit hole, I see that you're bouncing back pretty solidly, and I'm glad to see that. I'm still kind of you know, feel bad that, you know, they mess with your other channel. But yeah, I wanted to ask you something too. Do you think it's a good idea to launch balloons in different areas in this flat plane during the solar eclipse?
Oh, I think it's essential. I think this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I wish 100 of them were going up.
So yes.
Yeah, that's a yes. You know, supposedly NASA is going to be following the eclipse with some jet fighters or something. You guys know anything about that?
I heard something about that, but you know me, I'm not buying it. You know, if they do it, they're not going to show us the real footage or something.
Yeah, no, of course. And what I'm thinking is I would not be surprised if they quietly divert all commercial air traffic out of the path of totality because they have jets flying in there. I was going to launch my drone and try to film it, but I realized when I did a test the other day, my drone doesn't look up. It only looks forward. So I can only catch the sunrise and sunset. So I cannot catch the eclipse midday.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'm going to get a better view with it with my P900 and my eyes.
Yeah, same here. I'm actually driving to South Carolina.
Nice.
So I could catch it myself. And it was something else I wanted to ask you. Besides, keep up the great work you're doing. It was something I wanted to ask you.
I lost about 30 videos. I figured that I couldn't recover after my channel went away, but it's all right. You know, I upload them again. New people see them. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, like ultimately, they won't be able to silence this truth. They won't be able to.
They're trying, man. A lot of stuff.
Very hard. Yeah.
A lot of stuff is disappearing from YouTube, and you know what I want people to try is if you're at someone's house or at a computer that is we'll call them a globalist computer where they have no idea of anything and they're just you know, blind in the world that we live in. Search, you know, one of the things, you know, Boston bombing, 9/11. Flat Earth on their computer and watch what the results come up with. It will serve you nothing. If you search, you know, 9/11, if I search 9/11, it's going to serve me up everything that I already know because they know that I know. But if you go to someone's computer that doesn't do any of that, you barely get any hits on some of the big topics.
Yeah, it's a lot of shenanigans going on with this YouTube. Recently, especially right now when it comes to flat Earth. And I always tend to, you know, go into certain topics with an open mind. And I always say that if flat Earth was, you know, a psyop or was the opposite of the truth, why are they silencing us? Why it's not being pushed? Why is it being, you know, picked on, make fun about? You know what I'm saying? Normally when something is a lie, they will promote that because they want people to believe in a lie, you know. So it got to be something there. And if you're a global believer but claim to be a truth seeker, why they don't at least use their common knowledge and say, well, there's got to be something to it, because they keep making fun of these guys. They keep, you know, trying to overshadow what they're saying. You know, if you're a truth seeker, why? I don't get it. Why do they not have an open enough mind to say something at least is not right when it comes to flat Earth?
I think that the flat Earth is the one thing that can snap most people out of their coma, for lack of a better word. And the elite know this, and I don't know why, you know, they have the president and John Kerry mocking flat Earth. They have all of this stuff. Are they trying to get out ahead of it? Are they using AI to figure out what's going to happen next? And are they just trying to corral us? I don't know. But what I am wanting and encouraging other big voices that aren't necessarily flat earthers. I'll call it out right now. Greg Carlson, I think is his name, from the Higher Side Chats. Now his audience is 95% Globalings, and he does a good interview. He had Jaron on the other day. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Jaron did a phenomenal job there, and Greg tries to stay on the fence, but we know he's no dummy, and he knows the Earth is flat. He knows we don't live on a spinning ball, and it's time for him to get off the fence and come out and state his claims and stop worrying about losing subscribers, because other bigger names, bigger voices out there know the Earth is flat, and they're waiting for the opportunity when it's safe to come out. So we need more and more voices. You know, we're here, we're all preaching to the choir. Everybody in this chat already knows the Earth is flat. We're here, we're learning new stuff, we're getting more courage, but every single one of us needs to go out there and start talking to other people. Start talking to people that have no idea, and figure. One of you guys said it. Figure out the formula for whether you hit them with the Bible or you hit them with the curve. Was that
flat out elect? Flat out elect.
Man, I was listening to you. Great. I love what you have to say. I'd rather hear you talk than me talk right now.
Well, no, I was going to say to you, brother, I watch a lot of what you do, and I'm kind of like Dredd. I sincerely, from the depths of my soul, appreciate, the work you've put in. You have guided this old man down this path, because we're coming on this path blind, and those ahead of us are kind of holding that flashlight to give us a little bit of sight to what we're coming up on. And so I really appreciate that work you put in, brother. I'm over here in the Dominican Republic. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. I've been in the truth now for many, many years. Flat Earth about 6 years. Vocally Flat Earth for about 3 years. And I'm over here in the Dominican. I'm actually opening up the main pastors in Latin America. And I'm talking like the top pastors in Latin America have approached me and asked me if I'd be willing to open up a truth church where I would be able to speak this type of truth, not only about Satanism and music and the indoctrination system, and the fact that I thoroughly believe that we are living, whether we believe Satan exists or not. Those that are in power most certainly do. And I believe that we are now living in a satanic ritual. And for me, that's concluded. I don't even have to research past that. I have concluded that this world is a satanic ritual. And thankfully, some of us are breaking free of this mental prison and are being able to step outside of the system and be able to see it for what it really is. So hopefully over here in Latin America, I'm going to be able to, I'm learning Spanish, but I've also got translators. Hopefully I'll be able to awaken the Latin community over here, because my Lord, you talk about a community that has the most wonderful hearts, the most wonderful souls, but they are so in love with America and the indoctrination of the American culture that breaking through that is absolutely vital to balancing the wake up on a complete flat earth level. I mean, it's one thing if you can get 30% of America to wake up, or 10% of Canada to wake up, and 4% of Britain or Europe to wake up. But if you can't wake up the rest of the world, China, Japan, Latin America, I mean, you know, East India, you got the entire world needs to start really thinking about waking up the entire plane as a whole, as opposed to just these little communities. We got to reach out. This is a big tree we're on. This truth tree is huge.
Right. We don't have to wake up. Sorry, thought you were done. We don't have to wake up a large percentage of the people. 5% of the, you know, if we wake up 5%, it tips at that point, and there's no stopping it. It's the light will, you know, enlighten the dark very quickly.
I think we're there.
We are there. It is so much easier now to break in, to talk to people about flat Earth. You know, 2 years ago, you mentioned flat Earth, and you would get the fight back, and you're a retard, and all of that. And now people are like, you know, I've heard that, you know, and they would ask intelligent questions, and they'll fight you a little bit, but people are waking up more and more. So now it is time for everybody that's been in these echo chambers, and I say that in a good way, that has learned and has heard the same thing 100 times and is learning new stuff. It's time to go out and wake people up. If you have to do it one by one, that's okay, because if everybody talked to one new person, we double the size in one day. If we
now, here's an idea.
Yeah.
Here's an idea I came up with, and I think maybe, you know, you guys in America would be better suited for this. I certainly couldn't do it over here in the Dominican, but what about a flat Earth float in a major parade?
Good luck with that. You know, that's
yeah, they ain't ready. They ain't ready.
So you guys know about the billboard that I'm doing? You guys are aware of the billboard that I've done? So I purchased a billboard 48 feet wide, 14 feet high. It's right near the Flat Earth Conference, and it's going to be running for the month into the conference. So the day before the conference, we're going to get 100 people, maybe more, everyone that's down there. And we're going to go to that billboard, and we're going to bring signs, whatever we want. And I'm going to throw the drone up, and we're going to live stream that. And everyone there can come up like, hey, I'm ODD, and, you know, I think the Earth is flat, and this is why I believe it. And we'll all take turns talking to that. But while that's going on, we're going to be mirrored on as many channels as possible. We're going to have every flat earther across the plane tweeting, messaging, and emailing and calling, or whatever it takes, every local news media, every national news media. And we're going to say, hey, you know, and everyone can send their own message. They'll say these people that believe the Earth is flat, there's a conference, they've taken over the highway, whatever. Just get them to tune into this stream. And the amount of coverage, damage to the ball Earth belief system that will happen on that very moment, I think is going to be epic. So just, you know, as we get closer to November, I need help from all of these channels, from you guys, spreading the word to everybody, so everybody's ready to, you know, you have all of the Twitter accounts and the email addresses and the Facebooks for all your local media, radio, and television alike, and you get this out there. I think it could be a blow that they might not be able to recover from.
Flat power. I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah, that'll trigger some minds for sure.
Even if the mainstream media says, look at these crazy people, and throws out their nonsense, Flat Earth Society nonsense, it doesn't matter, because people will start looking, and they'll be like, what, Flat Earth Conference? They'll click on the conference website, and then they'll start watching videos, and that's the end.
And the knowledge is there, right?
Then there's so much information there. Once you start really looking into flat Earth, like what's this about, or I'm gonna debunk this, then you're done. That's what happened. I bet that's what happened to you. You saw it and you said, I have to prove this wrong, and here you are today.
Well, no, my daughter asked me in front of a group of friends, because she's always telling her daughters how smart or her friends how smart her father is. So she said, oh, my dad will know. And she asked me, how come planes don't fly off the ball? How do planes stay on a ball? And I was like, this is 6 years ago. I was like, wait a second. I don't know. I got to be honest. Let me research it. And it was that question that my daughter asked that brought me to Flat Earth.
So 6 years ago, who did you talk to about this?
I looked at a lot of Eric DeBay stuff. I looked at Admiral Byrd. I had heard about Admiral Byrd. I listened to a lot of the Admiral Byrd story. Also, there's a captain. What's that captain that went around?
Captain Cook.
Captain Cook. I read some Captain Cook stuff, and I started thinking, but I already knew anyways, because I had another discussion in around that time about the horizon. Somebody was saying, do you ever notice that the horizon is always a straight line? Because I'm a Christian, so we had read in Scripture, and I don't like to bring up Scripture when it's not appropriate, but I think it's appropriate, that, you know, in Job, it was talking about how God said that he not only set the foundations, but he as well drew a line which we determined to be the horizon. But like I said, I started thinking about Flat Earth about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But it wasn't then that I became a Flat Earther, or at least not a vocal one. I didn't start being a vocal Flat Earther until about 3 years ago.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I was, and I've told the story many times, but anytime I would hear anything religious, God, I was spiritual, I would say, but anytime I heard anything religious, I would just tune it out. So now that I've discovered Flat Earth and I know that there's a creator, now I'm fascinated by that stuff, but I purposely try not to mention that stuff. For one, because there's other people like you that are much better at explaining that. Robbie Davidson, Rob Skiba. I send people over there.
He's going to be at the conference, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Yeah.
How come we haven't heard about this conference sooner? Like I love knowing about these things, so we that can support them, because not everybody can come, but people can still support. Like when IPS did his art show, we watched, we streamed, and we supported. I think it's gonna be crucial. I really like this, and I'm definitely down to do whatever it takes to support this mission.
Yeah, what about donating stuff? I own a promotional company. I do pens, jackets, T-shirts, hats. There wouldn't be much I don't do. I do every single promotional item on the planet. I own a company that does a lot of business to business in Canada and the U.S. So how would I go about donating some stuff, some giveaways?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I could help you out with that. I'll be at the conference. If we want to put our heads together on some stuff you want to put together, I'll get it put in all the gift bags there. I'll make sure every conference attendee gets one, and I'll make sure as we go through the town talking to Globies that we leave stuff everywhere. So.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff we could do. I mean, if you look at my website, what you got to do, I guess, add me or something. I think I'm already added to you. I think I have you as a subscriber. I've subscribed to you. Flat out elected. But if you subscribe to me, just email me or message me.
Shoot, hit me up on Skype. You're on Skype?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's DT Weiss, DTWEISS. I had these cards printed up with that say the Earth is not spinning with my podcast on the back, and I've got about 5,000 of these, and we stick them everywhere, and we put them all over the place, and people pick them up and look at them, and my kids actually are at a music festival tonight with pockets full of these, handing them to people.
That's what's up.
How
Yeah.
do you spell your last name? Weiss?
WEISS.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to donate. I don't know. We can figure out some stuff. I'm already giving a lot of people flat Earth dog tags that I'm doing.
It'd be amazing. Anything
yeah.
you want to do, but we can we'll create the artwork for you, whatever you need. I know the business very well. Where are you in the USA?
I live in the Dominican.
Okay.
But I own a company in Miami and Toronto, Canada. So.
All right. Well, reach out after the show or tomorrow, and let's talk.
Yeah, we can figure out something because I definitely like to, send some stuff down there. I'm doing some stuff with Patricia Steer. I'm sending her some merchandise. I've got 2 suppliers, flat Earth suppliers, that are doing some stuff for me. One out of Phoenix and one out of Chicago. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, I'd like to do some stuff to throw at people and
awesome.
Right? Because that's what you got to do.
For sure.
Yeah, that'll help. But I have to ask, when are you going to start doing some podcasts or live streams?
Yeah, man.
I would love to see you do like a podcast deep inside the rabbit hole.
Wait, you setting me up here?
No, I'm being honest. I would love to. I would love
you
to
setting
see
me
that.
up, man. You know I have a podcast now.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Called,
I mean,
it's
but like
the Flat Earth Podcast.
So you do like hangouts. I don't get notifications.
So the Flat Earth Podcast is not on YouTube. If you go to theflatearthpodcast.com.
That's what I meant. I meant like on YouTube.
Yeah, well, that's a podcast. If you just get a podcast player, which is on the website there, it'll automatically download it for you.
Okay.
It'll automatically download it and notify you when there's a new episode. As a matter of fact, episode 4 is coming out in probably a few hours, and we have DMarble on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I saw that in the chat. So, okay. So you got the links on your YouTube channel, right?
Not really. I'll put it in the chat, but it's literally theflatearthpodcast.com.
Flatearthpodcast.com. That's what I'm talking about. So you don't do it like how we do it here. You don't do like podcasts like this.
No, but I have been doing some live streams from my drone where it's just me talking and the drone is in the air. There were some tests, but people seem to like them. I'm waiting for a cloudless morning, and I want to film the sunrise. Just live stream it for 20 minutes, see what it looks like. It might be interesting. I might do it tomorrow morning around 5:58 a.m. Eastern. It might be boring as hell, but it might be interesting.
Now we're gonna support you, family. We're gonna support you.
That's right.
But yeah, so I know y'all.
You got to make me a mod so I can put a link in here.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was for to say.
If I can catch it.
I know the convention is November
9th and 10th.
9th and 10th. Or is it a 2-day event?
It's a 2-day. It's a 2-day event. Thursday and Friday in November.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and support. I'm gonna go ahead and shout that out. Okay, I got you. I'll make you a mod. Go ahead and support that. I re-upload it. Let people know about it. We want to promote that as much as possible as well. And,
which one is you?
I think he's in my stream. I just modded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because mine's is going
haywire. I'm watching it.
Right
I see it.
So
I'm like, where are all my mods? Oh my god.
So just a quick little plug for the podcast. It's myself and Curious Jay. We have flat earthers on like you guys. We have people that have no idea that the earth is flat. The episode that's coming out after DMarble is a woman that knows a little bit about some conspiracies, had no idea flat earth was a thing, and we broke it to her on the podcast, and it was kind of interesting. It's just an hour, just audio, and it's good for, there's a lot of people that don't watch YouTube. They listen to podcasts while they commute to work. So there was very little, if anything, of quality flat earth content on iTunes, on podcast network. So that's where we came up with the idea. It's a quick hour. If you have a podcast player, you can play it at, speed it up and go through. You can jump over topics, jump forward, jump backwards if you want to hear something again. It's an easy way to listen to content.
So what I do for you, my brother, if you don't mind, and like I could post in the description of all my videos. I'm gonna have a link to your Flat Earth podcasts in the description of all my videos, all my podcasts, and tell people to go check you out. I will do that.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. You know, we do it just to get the word out there, and we give anybody that wants to mirror it, feel free. It's actually also on YouTube. The YouTube channel is, want to guess? The Flat Earth Podcast.
The Flat Earth Podcast.
Flat Earth Podcast. Okay.
The Flat Earth Podcast. But if you do it without the as the website, either way, it'll still get to us. We took both names.
All right. Wonderful.
All right. DMarble.
Yes, sir.
D, hey, how you doing, brother?
Hey, man.
Welcome.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Wonderful.
We're doing pretty good, my brother. Hey, DMarble is kicking in doors. I see you ain't knocking on him no more.
Oh, no, man. I'm not playing. Oh, Dre. Yo. Man, look, hold up. Oh, man, I'm not even going to tell you what I'm about to do tomorrow. It's going to be so cold-blooded. Oh, man.
I can't wait. I can't wait, man.
Hold up. D, now you got to tell us. Go ahead. You know you're gonna. This is like an encore.
I want to.
And you're gonna tell us.
All right. So watch this. Check it.
I knew it.
I mean, I want to share this. Watch this. So earlier today, right? Well, I had this idea a few days ago. This guy sent me a picture from Australia at 6:25 in the morning. Now, here in Tacoma, it was about 1:25 in the afternoon, but he sent me a picture of the sunrise. Sun was coming up in Australia at 6:25 in the morning. Over here, I'm like, but it's like right above my head. So I had an idea. I know a guy in Australia, and I know a guy in the UK. See where I'm going? So look, I sat here earlier today. I turned on my screen recorder, so I recorded 2 Skype calls. I called my man Matt in the UK at about 9:03 UK time. Asked him what time it was. It was 9:03. Asked him to show me where he was. He showed a road sign. He's in Yorkshire, England, I believe. And so he said that, showed me where he was at, and he showed that the sun was setting off in the distance. I said, all right, I appreciate you. Hey, I'm here in Tacoma, Washington. There's the Tacoma Dome. You can see it behind me. There's the Tacoma skyline. You can see it back there. I appreciate you for participating in this project. And I'll talk to you later, buddy. You have a good night. Immediately, I'm still recording the screen now. I called my buddy Luke in Australia. Now, Luke, how you doing, buddy? Oh, I'm good, mate. Hey, man, what time is it? Oh, it's about 6:08. All right, here, is the sun up? Yep, sure is. Let me see, it's over in that direction. He showed me. I said, so exactly where are you? He said, I'm at this bar right here by the coast. I'm in Australia. Showed where he was and all that. Showed the sun coming up. So in this video, I'm gonna show the sun going down in one time zone. I'm gonna show the sun above me in Tacoma, and I'm gonna show the sun coming up in Australia. That's impossible on a globe. So I'm about to kill it,
brother. And you know what's crazy, because today, when I left the house, it was about a little after 7 o'clock, and the sun and the moon was up at the same time, right?
Yep.
And I made one of the biggest mistakes, because I was so tired. I was still tired when I came home. I just laid down and I nodded off. But when I looked up at the sky, the sun and the moon was so close to each other, and the angle of the sun from the moon was up in the sky, and the sun was like below it, to my left. The moon was to my right, higher up. Now, from the angle the sun supposed to be reflecting on the moon, you would think that the sunlight will reflect underneath the moon at the bottom portion of the moon, but yet only the top portion of the moon was lit up when the sun was beneath the moon.
Man,
I should have recorded that, man. It was the weirdest thing I ever seen. Like, if you look at the angle from what I saw,
right?
Oh man, it was the proof that the moon generates its own light. That sun is not doing that. It's not doing it, man. I promise you, I'm gonna catch it and I'm gonna record it. I know it's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again.
What I find interesting with the moon, when the moon is just a crescent moon, which is usually you can see it at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, you can see the unlit part of the moon, which is fascinating to me. You can see the unlit part, but as soon as that moon becomes unlit, zero lit, a new moon, you cannot see it for 40 hours. Okay. No one has seen it in less than 40 hours. So that little crescent part of the moon isn't lighting up the other part of the moon. We're supposed to believe that Earthshine, which should be many magnitudes greater than moonshine, and moonshine we know is bright enough to cast shadows on the Earth. If you're in a dark place with a full moon, you could read by it. But when there's a new moon, there's no moon. There's no moon.
It's almost like it's not there.
How do they explain a half moon exactly? That one always is like, wait a second, man. How do you explain?
Where's the cover chat?
Right? But I want to say to DMarble. DMarble's going to come hang out with me.
Where?
Right? DMarble's going to come hang out with me on Monday.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I watched a video the other day because I've been researching you a little bit. Flat Earthers are allowed to do that with each other.
Okay.
It's full shill alert, and I know you're not. But I just wanted to just say that I saw somebody did a video on you when you did your spirit level on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And then I seen somebody made a comment talking about, well, of course, the table that you put the spirit level on is flat. Duh.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I got to thinking about that. I was like, wait a second. If you took your van and put the spirit level somewhere on the van and then drove down a hill, you understand? Clearly, the level would change, right?
Obviously.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Yeah. So it just in reading that comment, it just really made me think: Are these people seriously trolling? Is this a troll, or do they really believe what they're saying in order to try to hold this spinning wet ball rocket that is quickly, becoming more and more of a distant memory for people?
Man, look, I got no idea why they're trying to hold on so hard to it, even in the face of this overwhelming evidence that we're not spinning. There's no curvature. The plane was not compensating for it. Come on, man. I'm like, a spirit level is the simplest way to sit here and say, okay, this is level right here with the bubble in the middle. And if you swing it to the side a little bit, the bubble goes to one side. If you swing to the other side, the bubble goes to the other side.
Let me be a globie for a second. And this is the argument they have against the spirit level. And you can't, you can never convince them. So imagine that the Earth is a bicycle wheel and gravity are all of the spokes. And they're all, each spoke pulls towards the middle. So you have a spoke that's pointing straight up and you put your level on it.
Yeah.
And then as you move that wheel down, that gravity is staying perpendicular to the bubble.
Right, because everywhere on the ball is up.
Right. So if you drove 24,000 miles, it would stay level the whole time, according to them.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's as ridiculous as it sounds. That's exactly what they believe.
That's their argument.
They use liquid in the level.
Yeah.
Because of course water always finds its level.
There's evidence for this stuff all over the place. Exactly. I'm like, they use water to measure whether or not something is flush. So what do you mean? I'm just.
Yeah, for me, it's like, people ask me all the time, well, why do you believe in the flat Earth? I'm like, because there's no evidence for the ball Earth.
Right.
And,
exactly.
and I'm an observant dude. I told you, my mother killed my father in front of me when I was 4 years old. I ended up in an orphanage to the age of 14, abused and beat up and put through group homes, eventually the streets, in and out of prison, drug abuse. I've been through this world, and I have had to observe my surroundings. I've had to pay attention to the people around me and to the things that are within affecting my life. I've had to be observant.
Right.
And so the very first thing I want to go to when I get the thought of am I on a spinning wet ball rocket is I want to go right to my common senses. I want to go right to my observations. And I want to go, all right, well, how do you feel about this?
Right.
And I'm like, well, I feel pretty still. All right, well, that's a start, right? That's a start. All right, so because I'm a Christian, let me go to Scripture. And all throughout Scripture, it says that it's on its foundations. It's still not moving, blah, 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 blah. And then it goes right to Jesus Christ in the Sermon on the Mount, where he says that God uses heavens as his throne and uses the earth as a footstool. And I'm like, all right, so I got a footstool here in the house. I know it's not a spinning wet ball rocket. I know if I put my feet on it, they're not going to get wet. I know I don't got to try to keep up with it. So, I mean, when you look at truth, and you look at truth by dropping the ego, which means the edge God out. You edge something higher than you out, so you can be at level with what it is that you're trying to research.
Yes, sir.
A light's going to come on, and you're going to go, oh, I have been deceived. I have been lied to. And then you want to get mad, but if you're smart, you giggle and go, they got me. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now how do I tell other people they've been had?
Exactly.
In a way that's going to make them giggle it off too and go, wow, all right, well, let's do some work and let's get other people woken up. Because that's essentially what it's going to come down to, is not that you got the light, it's how are you going to share the light. I don't care that you know the truth. How are you going to messenger the truth? Who are you going to talk to about the truth? And how are you going to deliver the truth in a way that their light's going to go on and they're going to giggle and go, wow. Because I don't want to wake up anybody that's got a loaded gun. I want to wake up somebody that's got an open mind. Because if you got an open mind, it's 1,000 times the loaded gun. You're going to get more done with an open mind than a pocket full of bullets. And this truth is to be giggled at. It's not to be screamed at.
Man, you about to make me go snatch up a Glover and drag him. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You got me pumped up, man. Calm down. Calm down over there.
Yeah.
About to jump out this van. What's going on?
But that's how I feel. It's like, this truth makes me giggle. To be honest with you, I laugh at myself. I don't laugh at the globe head. I don't laugh at the guy that still thinks he's on a spinning wet ball rocket. And right now in China, there's an upside down fishing boat. I don't laugh at him.
Right.
I laugh at me that I was him. I go, wow, I was you, bro.
Yeah.
I was you. I really thought there was an upside down fishing boat in China. Well, I thought that was what it was.
Well, look, I don't even know if I was completely sold on that whole thing, but the thing that gets me about this truth and waking up to this thing is like, you know, I'll sit here and I'll kind of laugh at the fact that they got me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can laugh at that. I can giggle about that. Yeah, but then I start thinking about these people. They got my kids deceived. They got my friends deceived. They got my family deceived. They got my brothers and sisters. Yo, people that I care about, they're being lied to also. Nah, I don't deal with that.
Yeah, but that's on you, though.
Oh, no.
You see, that's what I tell people. That's on you now.
Yeah.
You see, once you know the truth, your silence is your consent.
Yeah.
So if you're walking down an aisle in a grocery store and you see somebody beating their kids and you keep a blind eye to it, don't stop and correct them on it, then your silence is your consent. Right. When you know the truth, you automatically walk into the room of without excuse. You are now without excuse. So it's not that you know the truth. It's how are you going to deliver the truth in a way that a light's going to go on. It's not about the truth. The truth can't be argued, but the way you deliver it can be ineffective if you don't deliver it correctly.
Your silence is your compliance. And and that's what the elite, well, that's why the elite tell us everything they're going to do. They in their shifty little ways, they told us about 9/11 years before it happened. They tell us about everything in movies, in commercials, on the news, everywhere. And if we don't see it, they think the karma is shifted off of them. Whether it is or it isn't, that's what they believe. And if you don't say no, you're essentially saying yes energetically. Right now, excuse me, they keep poking us with Kim Jong-un is going to blow us up with nukes. Most of us here know that nukes don't exist the way they tell us that they are. But they keep doing it to the point where people are so sick of it, people that are unawake or not awake, that they'll be like, you know what? We should just take him out already. And we don't have to go to the polls. We don't have to, to tell the government that. They know it energetically. When enough of the population, when AI tells them the population agrees, we because they're monitoring everything, our thoughts and everything we put down, they know what we're thinking. Then that gives them permission to go forward. If we bombed Afghanistan and Iraq before everybody pounded the war drums after 9/11, there would have been a revolution. So they're waiting for everybody to allow us to do it. And that's what we can't, we need to have people awake to this and not allow it.
I agree.
It's going to get crazy, though. You know that, right? I did a video today called Flat Earth. They know we know. They know we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's going to be hard for them to stop this truth, though. It's going to be hard because this is a seed that they buried in a deception, not knowing it was a seed. Well, that seed took root, and now it's a tree. And we're the branches, and we are reaching all across this flat plane, giving up this truth. And they can't stop it. They're betting on the tree cutting itself down. Let me say that again so it sinks in. They're betting on the tree cutting itself down so that they don't have to do nothing. They can sit back
because they're so used. See, they're so used of us doing the work for them. They have created this matrix where we tend to bring ourselves down like crabs in a barrel, having a crab in a barrel mentality. So they're banking on that. But one thing I can say is that, have y'all noticed that they're making more and more mistakes? And I believe it's because the truth is coming out at a fast pace to the point where they can't really keep up and counter the truth. So when they try to rush out, you ever notice when you take your time, you can perfect something. But when you rush and do something, it's going to have flaws. When they rush and do ISS, it has flaws. When they rush and do these CGIs, it has flaws because they're trying to catch up to us. We got them on their, we got them on their toes to the point that it's making it even easier for us to expose them. And all I'm gonna say is just keep up the good work, family. Just keep doing what we're doing, and they're gonna keep on making mistakes, and we're gonna get the truth out there.
Just don't eat ourselves. That's my whole message, is that when you got the truth, you got the gem of a lifetime. And we got the truth at a time that it is honestly as easy a time as you want. We got the internet. We got avenues of messaging that make it an even playing field. They could cut this internet off in a week. So we got to take our time and use it wisely. And we got to make sure these messages, this word can't come back void. We can't put this flat earth out and it come back void. It's got to come back productive. We got to bear fruit with this truth. And the best way to bear fruit with truth is to speak it in love. You know what I mean? These people, it's not their fault. They are asleep. They are.
They are. They're just like we once were. But I think DITRH is trying to get in there.
Go ahead, DITRH. Sorry.
And see, one thing I learned from one thing I learned coming from the gaming community, because I used to ask a lot of questions. A good friend of mine, I think he got like close to 300,000 subscribers during gaming. His name is Chase Money. I don't know if y'all know him. It's Chase Money. He do walkthrough, gameplay. He do reviews, and he also do like a podcast. And his podcast is be having like 5,000, 6,000 people watching when they go live. So I asked him. I said, "Yo," I was like, "I noticed you feature a lot of people on your channel and stuff like that." I was like, "Yo," I said, "You don't think you should help like a lot of smaller channels?" He said, "Oh yeah, they all used to be small. It just so happened that because we so unified, they just grew really fast." And I was thinking like, and that's something I also brought to the flat earth, and that's something we need to do because we need to have a louder voice. Our numbers is our strength. And me myself personally, I don't have no pride. I don't have a mentality of I want to be the big guy. I don't have that mentality. So I try to feature as many people. I try to promote as many people because I know ultimately that is what's going to make our voice collectively be so loud that they're gonna have to close their ears to even hear this flat earth truth. You see what I'm saying? But we have to really, really unite. We have to support one another. We have to keep on putting the truth out there. We can't be selfish. We cannot be like the globe earthers. Let's just be the opposite. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth is gonna show for itself. You know, we don't have to speak up for the truth. We don't have to defend the truth. The truth defends itself. But we have to really start promoting one another and show them that we're unified.
I think that right now we are at a crossroads where we need to wake people up immediately. Now is the time, because they can shut us down. They can. I mean, look at us now. We can decide to make a live show. It could reach anywhere across the plane, and we could reach anyone we want. We can tweet to anyone, anywhere in the world in a second. Imagine, think about before the internet and before telephones and before automobiles. There could have been huge flat earth groups, but they couldn't, there could be a group of flat earthers on the other side of my town. I would never even know it. I'd probably never even see them. And so all they need to do is shut down our communication ability, and they've isolated us again. So, everybody needs to wake up 2 new people every single day. Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to go back to the ball. If you don't wake up 2 people, go back to the ball.
You think? I was thinking that what could be a good idea is have a plan B, just in case they do shut us down. Like like I'm proud of you because you got your own website, podcast is going. So if something was to happen to, let's say, YouTube, you still have your website, unless they just attack us across the board.
They're making search terms. Yeah, I don't think my website comes up that well in searches anymore. When I had Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, it was #1. You search it, it was for first 5 pages of Google. That's no more. So they're changing the algorithms, if I could speak. They're doing it now. The censorship is here. 1984 is here. The nonsense that they say on the news that people believe is mind-boggling. You just go out into the public, get out of just go to where in the public and,
go out,
and look around at the people and look and try to talk to them. Or just listen to them. They're talking about sports. They're talking about drinking. They're talking about what they have to do at work tomorrow. And that's it. They're not aware of anything.
Yeah. I made a point with a friend of mine. I don't know how we get there. I'm a businessman, so I do have ideas and I have a little bit of knowledge. We need miniature, not huge, 15-seater, 20-seater flat earth cafes. And what I mean by that is like little coffee shops that are flat earth emotion. You go in, it's got flat earth information on the walls. It's got flat earth napkins on the table. It's got flat earth mugs. You're selling nice coffee, some nice pastries. You've got the Wi-Fi there for people to sit there and share videos, to do live streams. And I think that if we got one started in a major city in America, I think we would find that they would grow quite quickly. Now, I don't know what it would cost to open up a small flat earth cafe per se. But I'm guessing in around 10, 15 G's should be able to do it, I would think.
I think us doing things like that, like opening a flat earth store or, like you said, a cafe or even a gaming thing would draw in people, because you know how they have these little internet cafes and things like that. We could set up and do things like that don't cost as much. The biggest hindrance would be getting that through like the business, being able to operate in whatever state or capacity that you would be allowed to do, because they regulate that stuff highly.
Well, in Minnesota, they got a flat earth brewery.
I saw that.
Is that right?
Flat Earth Brew. I saw that. There is. I just put it in the chat, in the internal chat and the external chat. There is a dome coffee shop with a flat Earth map dome on the ceiling. And there's a whole bunch of them. I don't know how much flat Earth they're talking. They might just be like the Flat Earth Beer Company. I was going to reach out to the Flat Earth Beer Company and and see what their deal is, and if they want to send some beer down to the conference.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, things
That's
like
cool.
that. I think that's kind of, you see, I'm the type of businessman where I like to do big leaps. I like to feel the water, test the waters, and if you're not going to be able to get anything to move forward, especially when you're up against the clock, which Flat Earth is. You have to make big steps. You have to take some big leaps, and so the sitting around, pussyfooting around, and these are great. I love these conversations. Don't get me wrong, but I think you nailed it, DITRH, when you said, we're preaching to the choir. Most of the people that are coming and listening are really people that kind of already get it, and we're just kind of a group talking to each other. And I think that there's other ways to get the information out, but get it out in a way that is inviting. You see, Flat Earth, right off the bat, is confrontational. It's not an inviting topic. I was saying to Sassy, if you're getting robbed in New York City and somebody pulls a gun on you and says, give me your wallet, you just start talking Flat Earth. Believe me, the robbery's over. They're going to run in the other direction. So it's kind of like the pepper spray of truth. So you have to make this inviting. And that's why I was thinking of a coffee shop. But I know you want to speak to it. Just give me one last second. In my business, I also sell blimps. I sell helium blimps. And these helium blimps are 12 feet by 5 feet. So they're relatively sizable. And they most certainly fit a decent sized logo. And I can see that you see where I'm going with this. So that's another avenue that I have. And I do have access to reasonable sized blimps. I don't know where you could put them. I seen at the White House the other day, somebody blew up a chicken.
Music venues. Do they,
right?
they maintain an altitude, or you just have them on a string?
No. They well, yeah, I don't know if they're on a string. You have to maintain the altitude, otherwise they'll blow away. So you fill them up with helium. They're roped down and secured to the ground. But they're big. They're 12 feet by 5 feet. I'll send you a picture of one.
Okay.
I've never actually sold one or bought one. I just have the client, or I have the supplier that sent me the link, and he was like, look, Rand, if you ever need these, I got them. So what I'm saying to you is that's another avenue, is these reasonably sized blimps.
Interesting. So when you're saying these hangouts, don't, not that you said they don't do anything positive, they're essential for the Flat Earth. When I wake up somebody to Flat Earth and they start clicking, and they've asked their original questions, and they've watched a couple videos, and then they're like, oh my God, show me more. I give them links. I tell them where to go look, and I say, whatever you do, don't talk to anybody about it for 2 weeks.
Right?
Until you got your facts down, because it's going to blow up in your face. Nobody ever takes that advice because they get so excited they have to tell somebody, and then the other person just shames them into retreating a little bit.
I agree.
But these hangouts, there's newer people that come here, and there's people like Ace McLeod, who's in every hangout all the time. I think he's got 6 clones. Learning and rehearing. I need to hear things a dozen times for them to click sometimes. So these hangouts are turning everyone in here. You have 131 people in here. I'd say there's at least 100 of them that tomorrow can go out and talk to somebody that's never heard about Flat Earth. And you can use the arguments that we use. You could use the examples that we use. Right. Reference the videos that you think will be most effective for them. Send them. I think the #1 video when someone has started asking good questions is ODD's 21 questions, A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth. That is one. If anybody watches that and watches all of them, then they're done. There's no coming back from that. You've swallowed the red pill, and you're done.
Oh, absolutely.
Team red pill.
And don't forget
these.
Hold on. Flat out.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't forget that when you do these live streams, you always have new people that stumble across the live stream, and then they get to see they get to hear the conversation, and with me, my panel is open, so they get to hear the debates going on, and they're like, and I'm quite sure if it's a Globe Earther, they will hear the Globe Earther debate their points and listen to how we argue against those points. So you got to always remember that there's people in here that comes through, never even, been in here before. They might change their mind and say, oh, they got some good points. they was able to argue all these points. You know what? That sound, oh man, I used to believe that too. So I think honestly, everything that we do collectively is in the right direction. You got some that make short videos, you got some that make mid-range videos, you got some that do hour to hour documentary type videos. We need all that. And that's what makes us unique. That will make this community, this family unique, because we have a little something for everybody. And we're getting the truth out there ultimately. You know what I'm saying? We're very diverse, and that's something that we need.
No, I agree. What I was going to say is that, no, don't get me wrong. These hangouts are unbelievable. I try not to miss a hangout. And for all of them. And I'm a Christian, and I go to anti-Christian hangouts, and I go to Christian or hangouts that are Christian. So for me, we're sharpening swords here. I have learned from DMarble. I have learned from Dread. I have learned from Sassy. I've learned a lot from you, DITRH. And yeah, we're sharpening each other's swords. These are incredibly important hangouts that we're having. Probably right now, the most important thing that is being done in the Flat Earth community is these type of venues, because we're not necessarily just talking to the people in the chat that are hearing the after effect when the video goes up on YouTube. We're getting people in the back seats of the auditorium that don't say a word. They don't comment. They don't hit thumbs down or thumbs up. They're just listening. And a lot of times, those are the more open-minded people that are really just sitting there and listening. So, no, I think it's essential that these hangouts continue, and I absolutely love them. But the point I was making is that we also have to take the next step now. We have to stay doing this, yes, but we also have to go out into the community.
Yeah, I agree.
Like my friend is doing, Josh, Authentic
Intent.
Josh is going right there in Minnesota and getting in people's faces, which I think is absolutely wonderful. And so that's the step I'm kind of talking about. There's always that pioneer that's going to take us to that next place. And I really, really think that's kind of where we're at.
What Josh is doing is giving people the courage to go out and say something themselves, because he's all out there. He's just jumping in taxis and talking to people in the park, and that takes a lot of balls. But there's a lot of easier ways to do it. So he's helping people realize that they can go out and say something. Everybody needs to know that they can go out and say something. Bring it up as a question. If you're afraid to say, hey, the earth is flat, which I don't recommend, say, hey, check this out. You can see farther than we're allowed to, and cite one short video or something. And that plants a seed. That plants a seed, and it works.
That's the key, seed planting. You got it, brother.
Absolutely. And I stay planting seeds all day. You can see right here on the side of the van, Earth's surface is 71% water. Bodies of water do not curve. Therefore, the earth is flat. Research flat earth. I'm in a mobile billboard out here, man, all day. I got people walking around my van, pulling up, taking pictures all day, every day. So I can just park over here at a Starbucks. I go to a Safeway. I go out to a Fred Meyer. I can go park at the mall. I can go park at the waterfront. It doesn't even matter, okay? Wherever I'm at, somebody's just going to pull over and be like, wait, what? They'll be standing there staring at this thing for about 10 seconds. I get about 5 people every day who will pull their car aside, pull out their phone, take a picture, and drive off. So
I think we found our first parade float.
Oh, man. I'm out here throwing red pills all day, baby. This is what I do.
Team red pill. That's what's up. No purple pillars and no blue pills, no green pills, nothing but red. Business all day.
Hey, Marble. Hey, DMarble has already taken it to the next step, and that's why we appreciate all your hard work, my brother. For real.
I love that.
That Solar Eclipse video, though, bro.
Yeah, you're in the Dominican.
You got them upset out there.
Oh yeah. They drove out here.
Yeah, I think everybody has their own unique way of getting this message out, and as long as you have that effort, like I was talking about earlier in the stream, taking those actions. My channel is about the community, and I would never stop doing my streams if everybody was, out and telling people about flat earth, and more people come into the truth, because essentially what we do is commune with each other. We come together to talk about the truth, to spend time with like minds, to share ideals ways to be able to go out and tell this truth to other people. And I think it's essential that we keep doing that we keep supporting smaller channels, and that we keep being inclusive to the flat earth community that came before us. You guys paved the way for us newbies to come in and do what we're doing. There has to be someone who broke that first mold and said, you know what, I'm going to speak about the truth no matter what it costs me. And that's what I see. Channels like, you know, yours, Jaronism, what's his name, that guy Eric Dubay, so many that came before then, the Morgile, Globebusters, all of those, you know, Patricia, all of those big channels, is seeing a reemergence, and supporting each other in doing that is key to keeping this community on track to knowing what's going on, so that we can stay communicating and figuring out the best ways to tell people about this truth, and supporting each other in doing that. And it's crucial that we do that and remain in contact, have each other's numbers, have each other's back, support each other's events and venues, show up, and be proud of standing on the flat plane in the truth. And that's going to essentially do more the you know, person to person, you know, door to door. I know that this week I'm working on a banner that's going to plaster the side of the house on the fence that says research flat earth. So that is going to do a lot more than if I just walked up to somebody randomly that I didn't know, you know. But everything has its place and its space in the flat earth community, and it's about the individuals and our ability to share this truth.
You said that right.
Absolutely.
That's the one. But yeah, that's why I'm opening up a flat earth church here in Latin America. The pastors over here have approached me. I've spoke to a lot of high-ranking pastors in Latin America about Satanism in music, and about, you know, the Satanism with the elite and the Bilderberg group and Bohemian Grove, and, you know, just everything. And then I, you know, started talking flat earth, and they went, what? And so I just kind of brought them through flat earth as quickly and efficiently as my knowledge would allow me. And they all turned their heads and went, wow, how would you like to lead a church in teaching our youth the things that you're talking about? And so I'm just kind of working on that now with some of the leading pastors over here. Hopefully that can happen soon, because for me, that's where I feel I'm being called, is in a venue like that.
That's amazing.
And yeah, that's very important, is to get the younger generation the truth as well. Shout out to my daughter. My oldest daughter, she actually started her Flat Earth channel. Most of y'all already know that. It's called Flat Earth Teens. And that's for like the younger generation to get that truth. But they don't have to, you know, for their age range. No cursing, you know, clean show, just truth, just information for the younger generation. And that's something that we need to also support, because the younger generation are the ones that's going to take our places. And we need them to know the truth. We need them. They're the most important, in my opinion. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, hold up, man. While we on that one, man, let me show you what happened last night, man. I went to the drive-through, bumped into some kids out here. You know, cause I'm in the mobile billboard doing my thing out here. Ordered the food up. What happened? Got with these young men out here. Oh, what's that? Out here keeping it flat. These kids know what's going on. Nice. These kids know what's going on out here, man.
Oh, there you go. The flat salute. Very nice.
There you go. They already know what's up. I'm saying, man.
That's what's up, my brother. That's what's up. I like that too. I gotta take me a picture doing it.
Well, I'm catching everybody with that one. That's the flat earth salute, brother.
You guys ever come across people that you think you're going to introduce to flat earth and they already know?
Oh yeah. But look, strange things been happening to me lately. Yo, I mean, people are starting to recognize me in the streets. You know what I mean? Like this one guy caught me yesterday at the gym. He was like, "Oh, hey, is that your van? I've been watching your videos, man." I was like, "Oh, snap." So, you know, I was like, "Hey, can we take a picture real quick?" So, man, it's been cool. It's been real cool out here, man.
You know, D, your videos, everybody does different style videos. My videos, short sets of some music. D, yours are you know, simple to follow. I listen to Globebusters with my girlfriend, and I love it. I love when it's all the technical stuff, and they're into it. And we were driving back from up north, and we listened to the whole 4 hours, and my girlfriend's head almost exploded just from like, wow, you know, just all the math. She couldn't handle it. Then a couple days later, she sees your Eclipse video, and she's like, oh my God, I get it now. You know, Sophia Smallstorm sent me a link just yesterday, and she goes, I finally understand the Eclipse. And it was on Dorje Daka's channel. He mirrored your thing again. So you're getting to people that, you know, that the more complex shows are not getting to. You know, my 5-minute videos get someone to watch a 45-minute video, like ODD's video, and together we make an awesome soup that will get the most number of people. So, you know, if someone doesn't like my music, you know, some people go, yeah, the music is distracting. I'm like, oh, you know, go ahead, go somewhere else. Other people wouldn't listen to it without the music. So I'm just saying, everyone do your style, and we're going to get everybody.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
All right, I gotta go, guys. My wife and kids are on their way home from a church event. So I just want to say, you know, I thoroughly love, you know, this flat Earth and the people that it's bringing together. I think as a collective, it's a miracle, and I still believe in miracles. And so I thoroughly believe that this flat Earth collective, the type of people, the type of minds, the diversity, just the way everything is coming together at a time that flat Earth showed up on the block at the right time. This is to me a miracle, and I'm so thankful and grateful. And I'm also thankful and grateful to meet you guys and to be able to sharpen swords with each other. I thank you greatly from the bottom of my heart. I hope that we can all continue to gather this information and share it and messenger it as true disciples of truth, because I think that's what we are. We're warriors on the battlefield of truth, and I love that. So let's just continue to feed each other, and I'll talk to you guys again. If you guys need me, you know where to find me. DMarble, I'll see you on Monday, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for stopping through. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
All right, take care, Randy.
Take care, family. I can't wait to see that video. The podcast you did, Marble.
Go ahead.
No, the one on the Flat Earth podcast. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's audio only. Again, just sign up. We don't release them on a regular basis. You know, 2 comes out 1 week, 3, then 1. So just go to theflatearthpodcast.com. Download, if you have a smartphone, that's the best way. Just download the player on your phone and subscribe to the podcast, and it will automatically download so you can listen anywhere you want. And that's coming out probably, it could come out any minute. It should be out by morning at the latest.
All right, I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, so check it out. Yeah, it's a good one.
All right.
If I say so myself.
I was sure honored to be part of that, man. I appreciate you asking me to be involved.
Yeah,
really,
no worries.
Thanks.
We need to do another Flat Earth meetup in Florida, because man.
Oh,
I'm going to my first Flat Earth meetup in 2 weeks in New York.
New York? Oh, cool.
Yeah. A Flat Earth meetup is the only place where you can see people that are awake and are smiling.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh man,
I think I stole that from somebody.
What's up?
Yeah. Dre, you talking about Florida, man? When's the next meetup? Because people been asking me, "Hey, you coming to Florida? What's going on? We need to do a meetup down here." Because they saw my recap videos and highlights and all that from these meetups, man.
I know. I can't wait to meet up with you.
Speaking of
Flat Earth love is in there.
I might have to fly down to Texas for this next and see what's going on out here. Because
when it comes to Florida, I know I went to the last one. It was in Jacksonville, I think, and it wasn't. A lot of people ain't show up to that one. I don't know.
You're in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, here on that next one, man, let me know when it's gonna be. And I mean, look, if you can forward it over to Mark Sargent, he's good at promoting these meetups, man. He'll put it out there, and I mean, just the same, anybody that's talked to me about meetups out there, I'll promote it too, you know, if that helps. But you know, I'm always encouraging these meetups, man, because dude, I'm telling you, the way that thing went the other night in Seattle, man, it was the energy in that room. You can't simulate that. You gotta get in there to like have an understanding of it, because everybody in there is already on the same page. Everybody already knows the truth. And I mean, you don't have to defend this when you walk in there, man. It's just peaceful. Everybody's just happy to talk to another flat earther, because we're all like put in position where we're isolated once we find this out. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you find out that the earth is flat, like Dave said, hey, don't tell anybody for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Nobody listens to that advice.
Right. Nobody's gonna listen to you within 2 weeks. They're not gonna listen after 2 months or 2 years. You're gonna end up by yourself, you know, and having this knowledge with you and wanting to spread it but not having anybody to talk to, man, it makes some people like desperate to want to talk to somebody, bro. It's been a few times where I've been stuck on the phone for about 45 minutes, an hour, 15 minutes. I'll probably be talking for about 5 minutes out of that whole time, and the rest of the time they're just like, hey, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's all, look, you know I ain't never seen no curvature. I fly all the time. I'm looking out the window. I'm like, dude, calm down. Hey, do you not, I'm like, do you not have anybody to talk to? No, man, I don't have anybody to talk. Bro, you need to get to a meetup, or you need to book a meetup, or exchange numbers with somebody or something, man, because most of the time people's out here isolated. Their family won't talk to them about it. Their coworkers won't talk to them about it. So these meetups are very important.
So for somebody like any one of us, like myself, if there is another flat earther, they're going to see me and they're going to be like, hey, flat earth. But if I was just a normal person that doesn't have a YouTube channel, I could be walking by a flat earther every day and I wouldn't know it unless he's wearing a penguin shirt or something. Yep. And so I'm really curious on how many people are going to show up at this meetup in 2 weeks, because I only know one other flat earther that's in this area, and that would be Isa Mahal.
Yeah.
So where is the flat earth meetup?
It's in Nyack, New York, near the most dangerous bridge in the country, the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Wow.
Oh snap! Look, there's somebody in New York is in the chat right now saying I'm all alone. That's what I'm talking about. So he's gonna be there.
Oh, you're not alone, buddy.
You're not alone, New York. You're never alone out here, man.
Say, Dre, set up a meetup, bro. I will. I mean, I'm willing to do it. You know, you say Mark Sargent, he do the promotion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just hit him up.
Yeah, Mark will put up a video for that. He's the source, I guess, to do all the Flat Earth meetup videos. Hey, did you guys catch Jaren's video today on when Jaren and I did the top 10 things we want to hear from science on a show called The Twisted 10, where they let guest hosts come on, and we came on and did it. You guys catch that?
I saw it.
Yeah.
No.
So it's on Jaren's channel. He mirrored it there. Where we asked these guys, and one of the guys is an IT guy for NASA, another guy works for SpaceX, and we asked 10 things that we want science to show us, that they should show us. But then the number one thing, which I don't think was number one, was why isn't there a camera on the moon filming the Earth? And Jaren did a whole video on it. I think it's phenomenal. And I've sent it out to some people that have no idea Flat Earth is a thing, and they're asking questions now, and that's all we want. So share that video.
Yeah, that was a good video. That was a really good video. Yeah.
I just think he does such phenomenal work. It's amazing. That's why I have him on with me. He makes he fills in all the holes, which I have, which are plenty.
Right. I haven't had a chance to talk with Jaren yet, man. I'd like to do that sometime.
All right.
Yeah,
he's hard to reach, even though I call it I'm in Eastern Standard Time, there's Pacific Standard Time, and then there's Jaren Standard Time, where 5 minutes is 6 hours. So if you say I'll call you in 2 minutes, I'll go out to lunch and come back.
Man, Yeah, that'd be rough for me. I'm ex-military, so you know I'm punctual about mine, man. Oh, Helio Skeptic talking about Arkansas. Hey, I might come visit, see what's going on, man.
Marble, how have you ever been to Florida?
Once briefly before a cruise, but you know, that's a while ago. But no, sir.
You guys want to talk about the eclipse for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, as a kid, I was always. What do they tell you? The number one thing about eclipse: don't look at it.
Don't look.
Don't look at it. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, because the radiation from the sun. And I'm like, wait a minute. The sun being blocked by a big rock has more radiation than the sun not being blocked by a rock. And they come up with some nonsense. I truly believe that our eyes are the connection to the source energy that is coming from the heavens above, whether it's sunlight, starlight. The sun gives us our food. I believe it gives us our energy. It is the power cell for the Earth battery, and we are all part of that circuit. So I plan on being barefoot during the eclipse, connected to the earth, and finishing that connection with my eyes. I am not afraid to look at the eclipse. If you think about it, before we had caring governments that don't want us to go blind and giving us free glasses and telling us not to look at the sun, there was civilizations that had no communication. There were tribes, villages, cities, or not cities, whatever. And when an eclipse happened, what did they do? They stared at the thing the whole time. And the Mayans weren't blind.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback off you. I would say why we don't have no ancient text talking about how people went blind for looking at this, this black object in the sky and stuff like that.
I think that the time of the eclipse is a very important pivot point in our, for lack of a better word, energetic, spiritual enlightening. And that's why there's so many horrible things that the elite do around the times of eclipses, perhaps like attacking North Korea or everything, to keep people in a low vibration so they do not get the benefit of this high vibration energy opportunity. Could be once in a lifetime opportunity to connect with this source energy. And I think it's really, really important that we pay attention to this eclipse and prepare ourselves mentally and spiritually to receive the energy that it's going to provide.
I agree. I mean, we talk about that a lot too, how we're connected, to the stars, to this earth. You know what I'm saying? There's a connection to each other. And what they've done is disconnected us from not only our brothers and sisters, but from the earth, from the stars, you know what I'm saying, that we see. And it creates this this unbalance on this beautiful plane. I think that us bringing this truth and putting the truth out there, we're trying to create balance again, and we want to free the people. So, ultimately, I agree with you all the way on that tip, man. They don't want us to look at it because there's more to it than what they're saying.
I'm wondering what the skies are going to look like. Are they going to try to chemtrail the entire path of totality? Are we going to have balloons up there that we can recover and get the data from? How many P900s are going to be looking at it? I'm going to be using mine. There's going to be some amazing information from this eclipse. This is the first time that there's an eclipse where enough people are looking and have the equipment to film it.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm really thinking about hosting a flat Earth meetup, but I want to host it during the eclipse. So we all can see it together.
That's good. A meetup during the eclipse. I'm not a fan of live streaming the eclipse unless you just want to use Google as your hard drive to film it. I don't think people should be watching their computer screens during the eclipse. They should be watching the eclipse themselves. If you're in somewhere in the world where there is no eclipse, I still think there's energetic benefits from being outside, but there, I can understand, hey, I want to see it. I want to see what's going on. That's fine. But if you have any part of the eclipse visible in your area, which is most of the United States or all of it, you should not be looking at your phone or a computer screen. If you're going to film it, get a tripod, set it up, and look at it yourself. Don't look at a computer screen.
I agree. I also encourage people, even if the eclipse is not going to be visible in your area, still look at the sky. And I'm serious, because you don't know what you might see.
And make sure you're grounded. You should not be wearing rubber-soled shoes. You should have your feet on the moist grass or in the sand, connected to the earth, because you get free electrons come out of the earth and into your body, and that's what you need. If you ever have a headache, or you ate a big meal and you're just like, oh, I just feel horrible, go out on the grass, stand on the grass for a couple minutes, and it'll go away. If you have a baby that's just freaking out, colicky or whatever, but put it out on the ground and it'll calm right down. Or just hold the baby and you stand on the ground. It's all grounded. I sleep with a grounding band on my bed, and I'm grounded to the earth all the time. And it makes a huge, huge difference.
That's what's up. That's very informational. Yeah, that's true though. They disconnect us from the earth. Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. I was interrupting you. We are electrical beings, and the earth is a giant battery. You guys heard Devin Magny when he talked about the North Pole is the positive, and the South Pole ring is the negative. And the salt water is the connection. The earth is a giant battery, and the sun is what is charging us, in my humble opinion.
Yep, the sun is our alternator.
Yeah, it's where the energy is coming from.
Yeah, keep us charged.
And I think that's how they've been changing our mood and causing us to get sick and things like that, by blocking out stuff and putting these chemtrails in there, because it creates a space between us and the sun and the celestial body. So of course we're going to be off.
They're short-circuiting us with that the connective, that conductive spray in the sky. When I was a kid, the sun was yellow and the sky is blue. Now the sky is white and the sun is white, and it's the light of the sun is closer to the light of the moon than it is to what the sun used to be. So it's a whole thing, because the moonlight promotes sepsis and decay. The sunlight gives life.
I agree.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on there. So whenever there is a clear day, where a clear blue sky and the sun is out, try to get outside, get some sun on yourself, ground yourself, and it makes a huge difference in your life.
Yeah, I want to throw this out there when you was talking about how when you was talking earlier, but yes, there has been reports coming out saying that it's going to be a historical moment during the eclipse, that the whole entire country is going to be clouded, full of clouds.
Wait, who said that? Who said that?
This is coming from NASA. I can pull it up. Yes, they're claiming that during August 21st, it's going to be a historical event. It's going to be so cloudy all over the country.
See, so now I have no proof that this is true, but I absolutely believe it, because this is what I think they're going to do. They're going to chemtrail the crap out of the sky.
That's what I'm thinking.
They're going to blame it on the fires in Canada that are already smoking up the West.
Yep.
And they're going to blame it on a whole bunch of things. That is unbelievable.
I got a screenshot of it and everything.
Yeah, that's true, Dave, because man, we've been walking around out here in Tacoma, man, and like the last 9 days, it's just been foggy. You can barely see.
Is it the smoke from Canada?
Yeah, that's what they're telling us anyway. Right. But I'm like, hold on, man. There's been fires in Canada before, but it didn't go no daggone 800 miles out from, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man. I know they're going to sit here and try to chemtrail the sky.
They're going to.
I know it. I just know it.
Put that article on the screen or somewhere.
It's called a historical cloud event or something. They call it.
Oh, my God. That's freaking me out. We need more balloons up. We need somebody with a private airplane to go up and fly. I have a feeling though they're going to clear the flight path. I mean, they're going to have commercial airliners aren't even going to realize it. They're just going to be like, go, you're going to fly west, you're going to fly wide, and it's only a 70-mile path, maybe more, but they're gonna keep people from seeing it. If you're in the path of totality, is a huge difference from being in the, let's say 95% or 90, even a little higher, because just a little bit of that sun peeking out will blind you from what's really going on because the sun is so bright. So it's only at that point of totality that you can actually see what's going on. And if they block all of that out, that'll be amazing.
Yeah, so hey, somebody in the chat, could you post that article for me? Because I posted it. I should have bookmarked it, but I think it was like 2 days ago when we live streamed. I showed everybody. Go ahead, type in historical clouds over during eclipse. Pull that link up for me if y'all don't mind.
Yeah, see, I
should have bookmarked because I had not screenshot it, but I showed the article, and they had a screenshot underneath the article. And they show how the clouds cover the whole entire country. I was like, no, this can't be real, man. Like, this is crazy. Not only that, now there's been rumors that, well, not rumors, they're also talking about it's a possibility of an earthquake and a tsunami during the eclipse as well. Like, so now we got 3 different events.
So whether that's true or not, they want to keep us in fear. But I believe, there is that ley line that is almost the exact same path or is the exact same path of the eclipse. You know about the Missouri gravity low, which is the ley line that it's the same path it's the eclipse. The eclipse is a massive energetic event that is super important. I don't even, it's beyond my knowledge to explain why. I just know that it is.
Yeah, it's just like I say. That's why I want to encourage people, even if they're not in the path of this eclipse, keep your eyes on the skies. Even if you're on a different part of this plane, keep your eyes on the skies. You never know. You might see the moon on your side. You might see another body. You never know. There's something special going to happen. I really believe that.
Tell me the name of that article again.
It's historical event. Clouds cover U.S. during solar eclipse, something like that, on the lines of that.
It's like on a national weather site or something like that.
Yeah. It was on a website. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm here in Texas, so I'm definitely going to be looking to see what I can see and record anything that I can see, because this is going to make more flat earthers than it is anything else, and globe earthers will be put on Front Street because they won't be able to no any longer deny what we've been saying.
I found it.
You found it? Okay,
it's the big chart where they're showing the eclipse path and the clouds.
Okay, yo, Jay, if you want to post it so everybody in the chat can look at it too, go ahead. I made you a mod. There you go. Oh, there you go. I got it. You got it. Everybody got it. Everybody found it. Okay.
Is that it?
Okay, hold on.
Where is it?
I just screen share it too.
I'm gonna put it in the chat also.
Okay, cool. Oh man,
is that it?
Oh man, wait.
I'm sharing my screen.
This isn't the right one, but
I know this is another one. The one I had, it was
shows cloud coverage.
It was cloud over the whole. This still bad. Look at this.
That's ridiculous.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
You got the same
even
one.
looking at that, look at the path of the line for the way the moon is going and the dip in where it will be.
It's not going across, it's going downward.
Yeah, in a funky way. I can.
Oh man, you know what? They might. I know what the excuse going to be. It's going to be the Earth because of the Earth tilt.
You know what? See, that's
good.
And that's that stuff right there. That's the stuff that has me out here like, you know what? Let me go and tear this thing up, man. Cause bro,
wow,
that type of stuff. I'm like, yo, you poisoning my sky? My sky? Really?
So here, I'll throw down my prediction now, which is already stated. Clouds over the entire United States, which is they're claiming. There will be some false flag shooting, bombing, something, and we will have some international nonsense with North Korea.
Yeah, that's that we need. Yeah,
none of it'll be real.
Like
but
clouds.
That'd be good. First, I want to give a shout out to the Black woman. Appreciate the donation. But yeah, we that's something else I've been promoting recently too, is to be very careful and keep your eyes and your ears wide open, because it's something they're gonna pull something. They're gonna pull some false flag. They're gonna try to discourage us, because I'm being honest. This is a very important day, probably more important than some might think. You know, especially when it comes to all the years of them lying to us, telling us what to believe. This is a very important day for all of us, and I think that we should pay very, very close attention to our whole entire surroundings, not just the solar eclipse itself. You know, because it's easy to become one-track minded. You understand? We don't want to do that. We want to keep our mind open and be and watch everything.
Yeah.
And be safe too. We have to be safe out there too.
Definitely. Man, I'm sorry, that just gets on my nerves, man. Cause I work outside most of the time, man, and I'm saying in Washington, yo, I think we're having like a 60-day drought right now. It hasn't rained in so long. And another thing those chemtrails do, it takes the moisture out of the air, man. They'll spray that stuff whereas water would normally, evaporate, form in the clouds and all that. They'll spray it in the clouds. The chemtrails take the moisture out of the air, and it hasn't rained in a long time here. And that's weird, being in this part of the country, man. So, it's like the chemtrails, they're like a multifaceted attack. They have the aluminum, the soft metal particulates, the morgellons. What was that? That's caused by the chemtrails and all that. I heard y'all talking about that earlier.
Morgellons.
Yeah, Morgellons. Miscorrect. All right, cool. Morgellons. There was that. What is that? That stuff it gets into the clouds, and when it does rain, it gets into the water, rains it down on the trees and all that. And there's a tree line at my job, and it's like the trees are absorbing that stuff from the bottom up. So the bottom of the tree is dead. Bottom of the tree is dead, and then up here is like turns green, but like 70% of the trees is dead, going all the way up, man. And it's like absorbing into the trees and killing the trees at the same time. And that's all caused by the chemtrails, man. But they're doing that.
Okay. A shout out to Nicholas. He found the article that I showed. Oh man, y'all for the flip out. Y'all for the really flip out. Look at this. I'm gonna share my screen right quick. Hold on.
Man, I don't even know if I want to look.
Go ahead and look at this. Check this one out, my brother. Y'all for the flip out. Those are the clouds.
Wow.
Historical cloudiness.
How do you get historical cloudiness?
how are they projecting that there's going to be historical
I have
cloudiness?
no idea.
Have they ever, in the history of anybody's life, on the panel or in the chat, ever came out and said, "Oh, by the way, it's going to be historically cloudy on this day"? Has that ever happened?
Months ahead of time.
Come on, man.
Do you see what I'm talking about? That's what really freaked me out. I was like, yep, chemtrails all day. Yep. And I'm gonna tell you a story. I had talked about this I think yesterday, I think 2 days ago. All right, so there is a bad thing going on with these chemtrails. And when me and my wife first noticed this, is that we both started getting really bad headaches, like really bad headaches. You know what I'm saying? And we just couldn't. We didn't know what it was coming from, and it was weird because we was getting them at the same time, and that's kind of rare for two individuals in the same house to get headaches, to have constant headaches at the same exact time. So we was thinking maybe because we stopped eating pork, you know what I'm saying, or our diet, you know, changing your diet, stop eating a lot more healthier. Maybe that has something to do with it, but it just dragged on. It's like these lingering headaches. So what we ended up doing was, I remember we had a little a storm was coming. It wasn't a real bad storm, but we always try to stay prepared or whatever. We go out, get everything we need, so we won't have to leave the house and, you know, let the storm pass by, and we're good. Now, what was odd was once we did that, you know, the headaches went away. You know, naturally they went away. It was like, man, we was talking about like, man, boy, I hated that feeling. Soon as we went back outside, everything was okay. You know, we out there, we talking. We come back in the house, boom, instantly. We both got a headache again, feeling nauseous, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, man, we got to go get checked out to make sure we're all right or whatever. Sat in the house until we felt better. Went outside again. It happened. There is no way. And I told my wife, I said, you know what? I think it's because we're going outside, breathing that air, the chemtrails, because they spray so heavily down here. It's so bad down here at times that it's hard to even tell if they're chemtrails or clouds. That's how thick they is. Like, it is bad down here in Florida. Really bad. It's so bad to the point where we're almost, if we do not have to leave, we don't. If we do not have to go outside, we do not go. That's how bad it is. So people take chemtrails a lot more serious, because whatever is in that stuff is harming people. And it's going to harm your babies. It's going to harm the plants, life itself, you know. So yeah, you have to really, really be careful. Them chemtrails is not safe at all.
Yo, and the water. Oh, yeah. That crap gets into the water supply, man.
Exactly. We got filters and stuff too, but man,
it disrupts everything. I'm saying
the water is so bad. We'll run through it. We run through filters like 2.5, 3 weeks. That's how bad the water is. It eats up a filter that quick. It's bad.
And there's no filter that filters out everything in there.
Everything. Yeah.
You know, especially the fluoride, which is unbelievable. And people are drinking out of plastic bottles. That's worse than drinking the tap water, I'm finding out. I have a distiller. I live and swear by it. It's all I drink is distilled water, and I pour it into glass bottles, and that's what I drink. Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
It will decalcify your pineal gland.
Absolutely, because you know they're trying to keep that closed. You know, they don't want us to wake up. They don't want us to live in a reality. In reality, they want us to continue to live in this dream world. You know, and me personally, I just feel blessed that I'm not alone in this fight, and there's other like-minded individuals like me. And that's one thing I think that really helped me on this journey a lot, is everybody that's like DMarble, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, Sassy, Trevin, Jern, Glowbusters, and you know, Patricia. Everybody is out there putting the truth out there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they made it real easy for me to transition to the truth, and don't be afraid to speak the truth, and not afraid to speak my mind. You know, hashtag no more trolls on Dre's panel. We're done with that. We're only dealing with truth from here on out. No, I meant that because, you know, it was fun, you know, debating, and I don't mind the debate as long as it's in an adult fashion. You know, everybody is more of a dialogue than really a debate. But when people come on, I notice they can ruin the show, and it turns a lot of people off from the show when you got a lot of good information coming out. You know, so to me now, from here on out, is zero tolerance. We're not allowing no more trolls to come on at all. This is like this conversation that we're having today. This is more like it to me. I love these conversations that we're having.
I had to tune out sometimes when you had some idiots on. I couldn't take it, my friend. You know, I was going to say earlier, when you're waking up people, there's some people that will not listen. You give it your good effort, and then you walk away. There's other people that will listen.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Agreed. That last one for me, man. When I had to do a timeout, I was just like, man, I love this channel, but dang, this is just getting on my last nerve, man. I was like happy when you said that. I'm like, thank God, because man, I wanted to slap some of them families. Shoot.
Yeah, it actually got to me too, and I know if it got to me because I tried to have as much patience, and I know a lot of people accuse me of having too much patience with these people. You know, I just wanted to really give everybody a fair shake, so I've done that, and they took advantage of that. So now, like I say, right now it's zero tolerance. If you're trolling, you're getting kicked off immediately. Ain't no conversation, ain't no talking. No, nothing. Most likely, I won't even post the links like that. I will send the links directly to the individuals that I know that's going to come to the table and speak the truth. And that's the way I'm going to do it from here on out.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm DMarble and I approve this message.
I second that approval.
And you know, I noticed that the audience are enjoying it a lot more too. They you know, they like, yo, this is the kind of shows that we like, and you know. So I'm like, yeah.
That's because DMarble's here. That's all.
Hey, no, DMarble, I'm about to keep it. I'm about to say we can book you every day. How much you charging, my brother?
Man, look, hey, Sassy, you need to calm down.
You know, I'm down with it.
Look here, hey. Come on, man.
We say that for the back chat. Say that for the back chat.
Right. Sassy, we live. We live, baby.
We're live.
Are we?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The Mod Squad say they approve as well. No more games. We got y'all, family. They say no more games, no more trolling.
Right.
The Mod Squad approved. DMarble. I think the family, the whole entire Flair family approves.
Right.
And, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving this bill.
It's showtime, man. It's showtime. You know, we ain't got time for. We don't have time for a meeting of the Baller Society.
Right on, man.
Absolutely.
On this panel. Sure.
So I want to say this though. I think that due to the fact that they're coming out with this average historical cloudiness for August, I think it's more important than ever that we get some balloons up. Multiple balloons up in August.
Got one going up. I don't know. I think Dwayne Kellum, you know, the guy is really good at it. His balloons came in through customs and they cut the box open and sliced the balloons.
What?
Yeah.
They what? Why would it?
Yeah, no, I don't know if it was on accident or purpose. And then I heard that the balloon seller is getting hesitant on selling him more balloons. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Oh man.
I know Glowbusters is sending up a balloon from an undisclosed location. I just hope they get the video back.
Oh man. Man, we don't need this. Oh, we don't need B.O.B. is sending one up. Oh, really? Let me check that out. I didn't know.
B.O.B. is sending one up?
Wait,
yeah, somebody just typed that in the chat. I'm about to look it up now.
I was like, excuse me? What now? Oh man.
Yeah, hold on. They might be on to something.
That B.O.B., that'd be dope. Oh man.
Let's see. If you got a link, go ahead and share the link. I'm gonna look it up myself as well. If you got a link to that, send it to us so we can verify that.
Hey, yeah, Joey, what's going on with that, man? Where's the link? Sure.
Yeah, make sure y'all post that link. I googled it. I don't see nothing popping up right now.
Oh wait, he said Bob from Glowbusters.
Oh, Bob. Oh, I thought you said. Okay. Hey,
I was like, who is B.O.B.?
You know, he a rapper. He's a rapper.
Bob.
Bob. Yeah, you talking about Bob? Okay. Bob from Glowbusters. All right, I'm gonna have to body bag myself on that one. Wow. All right, Bob. So, so they sending one up. So we should promote that too. Make sure that everybody knows about that.
Yeah, I mean, again, you don't watch it live. I don't know. It's not going to be live. They're going to film it.
It won't be live.
I'm saying live anyway, right?
I'm saying when they do it, I'm gonna just want to promote it so more people can see it. See the aftermath. Yeah, Bob. Okay, my bad. Yeah. Nah, it's my bad, brother. When I seen the word Bob, I'm thinking B-O-B, and I'm like, yo, whoa, wait, hold on. Because that would be huge. Great. Yeah, that would be huge. Bob. All right, you got me. You caught me slipping. You got too much chemtrail. I'm gonna blame it on the chemtrails. Yeah, I played it. I body bag myself, you know. I keep it unbiased over here. I had to body bag myself. But again, that'd be a big help, because you know how many eyes that he would have, you know, to watch that. Oh man, that'd be a force right there. But yeah.
And that would be something great if we could get a big name star to like stick to the flat earth, not like these damn sports dudes
like
that
Shaq.
they just say it's flat earth, and then all of a sudden they switch up and be like, oh, we didn't say that, we didn't really mean that, that's a joke. Well, it's not a joke to millions of flat earthers who believe, you know.
Listen, there are, without saying too much, some big name celebrities that want to speak out but can't yet. So we need more people, you know, with smaller voices, like Greg Carlson from the Higher Side Chat. Well, there's Mel Fabregas from Veritas. He you know, he's on the fence, but we all know that these guys know the earth is flat. You may not know who they are, but there's bigger and bigger people coming out, and as that happens, the real big ones will come out, and the tip will happen super fast. It's like, you know, carrying a wheelbarrow. You're fine, you're leaning back and forth, but as soon as you hit that tipping point, it all comes out. So we just need to have everybody reaching outside their circles, and that's what's going to make the difference. And we need to do it quickly.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
33rd degree Mason. I'm convinced.
Who is?
Shaq.
Shaq.
Oh yeah, he has a Mason ring
absolutely.
on. He has a ring on, and yeah.
There's a video with him bragging about it too. Because he had diamonds on the ring. His Mason ring got diamonds on it and stuff. Yeah, it's a video clip with Shaq bragging about it.
Yeah, the whole flat earth incident with Shaq was a setup, because see, that came after Kyrie Irving. And so the establishment figured Kyrie Irving's got a pretty big audience in basketball. So they thought they would counter that by getting another basketball player joke about it, but that joke was meant to sort of diffuse the whole thing and it just turn it back around.
And it worked.
It was yeah, I'm sure it worked. It was really suspect how it happened, because Shaq shows up on Jimmy Kimmel, and you can tell how strangely Jimmy Kimmel phrased the question. And it's like the only reason he showed up was to talk about flat earth. Of course, they talked about his career and everything that's going on, but when it got to the heart of the matter, he was like, so Shaq, you don't really believe the earth is flat, do you? It was like a cue in the question. It was, you should have seen how serious the look was on his face, but he's like, no, of course, it can't be flat. So either it was a complete setup, or Shaq tried to speak out and some very powerful people pulled some strings, and they told him, buddy, you made a bad move. We're going to need you to correct that. And they forced him to go on, you know, live television and paint it as a joke.
Yep. Hey, guys, I got to take off. It's my bedtime. So
no, you ain't alone. It's getting close to mine as well.
You don't
I've been on for a minute too.
I normally stay on like 8 hours, but it do catches up with me. And the show was so great today. I want to actually leave it just like this. I think it was an awesome show. Man, I love it. I'm gonna go back and watch it again. I'm sorry, and go to bed watching it again. I just have to.
Yeah, by go to bed, I mean research until I can't hold my eyes open anymore.
It's absolutely
right.
That's how you know when you're dealing with like-minded individuals, because we all literally do the same things. You know, I'm the same way. Like I'm the same.
Yeah.
Way. But deep inside
I miss some things when I be talking, so I always want to go back and listen to what other people said, because sometimes you get in a train of thought, and then you like, was I you know, saying the same thing? Was I on the same topic or not? So I always listen. I always go back and listen.
You guys have all discovered that you can listen at double speed, right?
Yeah. Oh, Dirt, if you want to plug your channel, go ahead, my brother.
Just, you know, everybody knows my channel, DITRH. I got a lot of short videos there, but the podcast is what we're really pushing, and you could turn regular, you know, ballers like, hey, where can I hear more? What can I listen to in the car? It's theflatearthpodcast.com. All the links are there. And we also have another thing on there called SpeakPipe. It's a little blue bar. You can click on it either on your computer or on your phone. And the first time you open it up on your phone, you have to download an app. But once it's on there, you can leave us a voicemail. It's fantastic. You can say, hey, I got a question about this, or you said this and I don't agree with that, or you guys are retarded and the earth is a ball and here's why. I would love that if somebody just told me why rather than I'm just retarded. That I already know. Give me the reason that I'm retarded. That's what I want to know. But we play those on the show and we discuss them. So please leave us some messages. Of course, you can call and just say how handsome and lovely I am and how much you love me. Probably,
and your cat too.
My cat.
I love cats.
Ready?
Cats
the cat's name is Anunnaki.
Wow. Nice. Nice. Yeah, the link's in the chat. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole's channel.
And theflatearthpodcast.com. Go there and theflatearthpodcast.com. That's you know, if you're new to podcasts are a great way to listen to content when you're on the move. You got it on your Walkman. And if you have a whole bunch of subscriptions and you go listen to another show, when you go back, it'll show you exactly where you were. It's not like YouTube where you once you jump out, you have to go find your spot again. Sometimes YouTube will hold your spot, but it's just a good way to listen. So there you go. Theflatearthpodcast.com. Leave us a speak pipe and you'll be on the show.
Absolutely.
All right.
Cool. And you also had what else? The other thing coming up, the convention.
Yeah, that's in November. We're gonna do the billboard. You know, the if anybody wants to donate to the billboard, it's just search a Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth billboard on GoFundMe. We could use a few more bucks there. If we get a little extra, if we go over, we can extend the time the billboard's up. But this is not a digital billboard; it's a printed billboard, and it pushes everybody to ODD's A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions. It's going to be on a highway a route that gets a couple 100,000 views a week, like probably I think close to 400,000 views over the week. But that doesn't count anybody that's under 18. So you probably have another 200,000, you know, people that matter. There's a college right nearby that everybody has to go by. So it's going to reach a lot of people. It's going to raise a lot of eyebrows. It's going to get a lot of media, which is going to be good. So when we do that live event, we need everybody, you know, start looking up the Twitter accounts and the email addresses and the Facebook pages of your local media. Make a list. So when we do this live stream, you can just start throwing the link out and we can make this a massive news event.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
It's going to be really, really a lot of fun. And I think it's going to, who knows? Maybe it'll tip. Maybe it'll just go. They'll be on so many news channels that they'll have a skit about it on Saturday Night Live or you know, who knows if anybody even watches that anymore.
I agree.
It'll be anywhere. It'll be everywhere. Everyone will be talking about it. That's the plan.
Absolutely, my brother.
Hey, DMarble, we were just talking about what a wonderful show it was, and we're getting ready to call it a night, brother. So if you don't mind, plug your channel.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm DMarble.
Approve this message.
All right. I'm DMarble. You can find me on YouTube, D.Marble. Facebook, Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm all over the place. Shoot, look, what had happened was, you know, living in the van, sometimes your Wi-Fi gets a little spotty, so I had to drive across town. I was about to head to SeaTac Airport, hop on this plane heading to Texas, but cooler heads prevailed. So, so I decided
the Earth kind of threw you off balance with your internet providers. Huh?
I'm saying, man, I think Madonna hacked me over at Starbucks, bro.
Oh Lord.
All right. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap things up today. Yeah. Oh, make sure y'all subscribe. Everybody that's watching on my page, make sure you subscribe to Sassy Undeniably. I actually put y'all names in the title as well, so they'll know exactly who's on the panel.
Yeah, I gotta go back and edit mine too.
They'll save it. I got you, DMarble, Sassy, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. I got all the links. I'm gonna post it in the chat. I got y'all names in the title. So that's what it's about, man. Just spreading this truth and promoting each other and being unified. And on that note, I guess I say I see y'all tomorrow, because y'all know I'm gonna be live tomorrow too.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tevin, for coming through.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Stir.
Right. Good night, everybody.
Bye, Marble.
Later.
Sweet dreams about me. Have a good night.
Oh, for sure. Sassy. Why you want me blushing out here, girl? Come on, man. Sweet.
It's fun.
Gotta put me on blast in front of everybody. You know I got a little bad. You quit playing.
I appreciate everybody coming through. Thanks, Mod Squad. You did your thing today. I really appreciate y'all sniping those little haters right there. And thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to more conversations like the one we had today. I love y'all. Until I see you next time, have a great night.
All right.